I'm all trying to find something. Here, I'll do.
And the siege was broken.
That has nothing to do with anything. I couldn't find something good to roll in with. So that's what you get. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Blacklist Universe. This is Mike S. Miller, as you know, because you're here, if you're here. Today, I have with me for the what we call apparently a Bitcoin maximalist.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
that's accurate.
Scott McCullough. I didn't know you guys actually existed outside of. No, just kidding.
You mean people with principles?
How is it a principle to be a maximalist? You don't think there's any other technology in the cryptocurrency space that has validity?
So I wouldn't say that. I would say there have been, honest efforts, but I would go so far as to say 90% of the coins that are created they're snake oil. I mean, to say it, to not use profanity on your show, they're snake oil. And
they are poop coins.
It's not that you can't make money off of them. That's not my issue. My issue is that the people who create them do not create them with the same vision and goal that was used when creating Bitcoin. Decentralized, anti-fragile. It wasn't perfect, but the technology continues to integrate. Taproot is getting ready to be integrated into Bitcoin, which will make it a lot more private. And that's just one of those kind of things. When good technologies come along, another one is SegWit. SegWit, what was it? Was it Litecoin that was using SegWit? And it was integrated first in other tokens before Bitcoin integrated it. And if I remember correctly, I think some of the core devs,
honestly, I haven't even heard the word SegWit in like a year.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of the core devs are going away from the SegWit wallets and things like that. But I mean, what has it been? 3 years now since the user activated soft fork and all that. I mean, that was a big deal back in the day.
In the day, I know, but what about today?
Well, I mean, what you're probably thinking.
My position is just that Bitcoin it's the Nike, it's the Coca-Cola, it's the gold. It's going to be the store of value. As far as actual daily use, bro, nobody's going to buy a Coke with Bitcoin. I mean, unless it's you're using Satoshis in a storing your money. Say PayPal comes into this space, and they are.
So I don't think that's true. Right. I don't think that's true with the Lightning Network. I think as
okay, give me an update on the Lightning Network, because I kept hearing about it, and then I just stopped hearing about it.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I haven't kept up with, I've kept up with the rioting more than I hear lately than I've kept up with Lightning Network. But I know that has, I recently, watched, I don't know, it seemed like an 8-hour live stream or something like that a while back when we actually had July was the user activated soft fork. And, and while Lightning isn't a panacea, none of these new technologies are. They just add more functionalities to where you don't really need, So, for instance, when you add increase privacy to Bitcoin, then you don't need a Monero. I don't think Monero is a good example of one that I don't think is a scam, right? But ultimately.
For those who don't know, Monero is a privacy coin. It's basically designed so that people can't figure out
they can't track
they can't see where you're spending your money or where you're storing it or whatever.
Which a lot of people think that Bitcoin does that, but no, Bitcoin is actually is a public ledger of all your financial transactions, and it's actually a very easy way for drug dealers and people like that to get caught, because they don't understand how literally every transaction can be traced back through the blockchain.
Yep. Bitcoin has flaws, monopolies. Bitcoin's not a monopoly. Well, here's the thing, dude. I mean, you're bagging on freaking Ethereum.
Oh yeah, man.
What?
It's just overly complex. Nobody uses smart contracts.
Are you
I'm
kidding me?
So, like, for instance, you're going to say, oh, well, look at the DeFi. So, because that's built off of smart contracts
Right?
and the Ethereum network. Well, I mean, there's a lot of downside to Chainlink specifically and DeFi as a whole. Let's not get started in the Chainlink and DeFi today is what the ICOs were 3 years ago. It's all pump and dump. If these people,
I don't believe that for a second, dude. Freaking Sergey Nazarov's been working on Chainlink since before Ether was even announced. So I honestly think Sergey is freaking Satoshi.
So then, if they believe in it, why are they selling off significant chunks right now? Oh well. Because if the technology was valid, people would be shoveling money at them. Yeah, hell, Ripple just the other day supposedly got assessed a market valuation of $10 billion. If that were the case, then people would be paying them to take their money in order to invest in Chainlink. But that's not the case. They're having to spend it. They're having to spend their own kind of tokens in order to continue the grift, if you will.
Chainlink has had partnership announcements like every other day since the mainnet.
Right. So there's real good evidence that
I feel like we're speaking Greek to a lot of the people in the in the chat. We should if anybody has any questions, Scott and I are gonna debate stuff that we've probably both been looking into for a few years now. So if you have any questions,
and we are not experts in.
No.
Yeah. So here's the point, and here's my first point on Chainlink, right? And I think what we could do is we can make points, and then as we make the individual points, we can kind of go back and unpack that. As far as if there's any technical stuff that we're talking about or history, there's a lot of history with the crypto space. So I think that's where a lot of people get kind of confused. But
where I'm in agreement with you is that I do think not necessarily that 90% of them are intentionally snake oil, but that 90% of them won't have a sustainable use case to maintain long-term business.
So when I say snake oil, right? Here's the kind of the red flags of what I think a scam coin is, right? It's pre-mined, right? What does that mean? That means it's mined in public. Mined in private before it's launched public, so that the people who own the coin are able to then control the coin through the ownership of tokens before the public is able to do that. So that's like the first thing off the top, right? The second thing is that it's centralized, i.e. the governance is in the hands of a small number of people who are able to control the future of a token, right? And these are the things that, most of there's probably 10,000 tokens out there, and most of them aren't worth anything because you're right, the use case just doesn't make any sense, or it's trying to do something that something that already exists does better. Right. And then the other part of that is that they have these traits that I'm talking about. They're centralized, so there is Bitcoin is truly the only decentralized and that's ultimately one of its huge strengths, right? And then the next thing is the whole idea of the pre-mine. So those are the two things that really have been anchors to the success of any other token. Now, some of them are. I'm sure there have been some really honest people who have. So are they scams because the people are trying to defraud people of money? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what's in the hearts of these people who make these things. But in the end, they're not trying to be something that is putting an altruistic future of finance out there, which is exactly what Bitcoin is, which is why it's such an amazing thing. And that's the reason why it's going to be, the store of value. And I think it's starting to become a much larger store of value for a lot of corporate and big finance and wealthy people.
I don't disagree with that. I do think that Bitcoin is digital gold. I do think it's going to be the store of value for the crypto space, but
I don't think it's necessarily just digital gold, right? Like a lot of people said something like, what is it? They tried to say like Bitcoin is the digital gold and Litecoin is the digital
Litecoin
silver.
is trash, dude. Litecoin is made with 4 hours of modifications to the Bitcoin code.
That's exactly right. But it's very close to Bitcoin. And so to that extent, that was one of the
moderately faster Bitcoin.
But but if we look at Chainlink, right, specifically, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of evidence that there's market manipulation going on, kind of classic pump and dump type stuff. People are trading on inside information, so it's a very kind of inside forefront knowledge over the general public, so that most of the people who are buying and selling are just following, one or two people that happen to have, inside info or whatever, right? Unsubstantiated claims of progress. So they're not, it's like while a press release comes out and says we made progress doing this, because it is a centralized, close ecosystem of development, we're not seeing that. It's not like with like if you want to check the new BIP upgrade for Bitcoin, you can go over to GitHub and be able to actually look at it, so that where that happens in public, whereas all this stuff is kind of happening behind closed doors. There's been artificial transactions that imitate like the adoption, by say like a large, external stakeholder or something like that. So that's hinky, right? Because who would be able to do that if it's not real? Well, the only people that could do that would be the people who are the actual current stakeholders. So then there's, bogus partnership announcements, hey, we're going to have a partnership with these people. The price goes up 15% and nothing ever, comes through with that. That was a lot of the stuff with Ripple back in the day. Remember how many partnerships?
Yeah, but dude, here's the thing. Chainlink has been around. They were here through the last cycle. And they weren't trying to pump and dump anything. They were just quietly working on their project.
That's right. In order for it to be a fully realized scam, there has to be something to it, right? And a lot of times, and
you're saying that Chainlink has suckered the entire cryptocurrency sphere.
It's happened before.
Dude, it's the first Oracle, and almost every. I mean, I can't say every, but almost every blockchain is already freaking signed on to it. You think they're all so stupid they're being scammed by Chainlink?
I think it's the Ethereum of the modern day is what I think. Isn't it sad to think that what Ethereum's only 8 years old or whatever, and I'm calling this a different era.
Sergey has been working on Chainlink since before Ethereum came out.
But Ethereum is but Vitalik's already said that he needs to do Ethereum 2.0 in order to fix it because Ethereum is fundamentally flawed.
So he's going to introduce sharding and what else was it? He's got to speed it up. So, I mean, same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin can't ever be like the financial where XRP, I know it's centralized and all that stuff, but where it gets things right is that it's microseconds, dude. You can send trillions of dollars around the world in the blink of an eye, in part because it is centralized. So because it's centralized,
that's exactly right. And here's the problem though. So there's a couple other things with Chainlink. I've just gotten started, but one of the problems with Chainlink, which is or Link, I guess it's called Link, right? It's not actually
That,
Chainlink.
it's called Chainlink, but Link is the
Is the token, right?
yeah.
Right. So here's one of the biggest problems with a lot of these things, right? And because of that centralization thing, right? So because it has such a lack of a decentralized ecosystem, when it's that combined with the way the SEC has been kind of coming down on things, there's I have no doubt that Link will be classified as a security, which then in that case, once it's classified as a security, it puts the whole thing and all the varied investors at risk of anything. That changes all the tax implications, and they can go back to its inception to then it's been an unregistered security, and court orders could make everybody sell all of their Link, especially for us in the States, right? I mean, because we actually have a regulated securities market. Now that's that's a case for a different, whether the SEC should be able to do that or not is a different case. That being said, I think there is a need for an organization like the SEC to keep people because I mean, think about the stock market, right? Most people that invest in the stock market have no fucking idea what they're investing in. They just heard that Tesla's going up, so I'm going to get me some Tesla, or I'm going to get an Apple. Well, the reason why it's okay for regular people to be able to do that is because of the laws that we have. I'm like a libertarian here, like advocating for laws. But the point is that the marketplace has been regulated to the point where people can actually take part in what they're buying and selling with some confidence that this regulated marketplace will not allow me to just be scammed. So that I've got other issues with the kind of know the identity, the known identities,
KYC,
KYC and all that kind of stuff. So I try not to use the jargon. But for instance,
KYC is know your customer, everyone.
Yeah, know your customer, and what that means is you have to, in order to do a trade or something like that with a U.S. regulated, you have to establish your identity with photo ID, things like that. So
yeah, it's fraud prevention.
Right, it's fraud prevention. It's also helps on the backside for tax purposes, because when you trade with, say, like Coinbase, which is a cryptocurrency platform,
link is in the description.
They will give you, if you do a certain level of trading throughout the year, they'll send you like a 1099. Fuck, I can't remember which. Do you remember what it is? I know you.
I don't know. I try not to trade. I try to.
I'm a hodler too, so I don't.
Hodl gang.
And so, yeah, so I don't do a lot of taxes with it, but I have done in the past, and I regret it. And so, anyway, so that's a real that is a real threat, right? It is absolutely, in my view, an unregulated security because of that decentralized and non-transparent private, development ecosystem that kind of works around it. So, those are just two things that I could think of: just the pump and dump, and then the illegal security. These are all things that harken back to the ICO days. That was one of the big issues. Now, I'll be honest with you, I feel like the SEC still has punted, and Ethereum is still, potentially at risk for being, whereas I don't think Bitcoin has this risk, but Ethereum, something like Ethereum, literally could still be, it's called an unregulated security at this point, which would absolutely blow everybody out of the water.
Isn't it Mnuchin was he the guy that was at Coinbase?
I don't think so.
There's somebody who went from Coinbase to
I know what you're talking about.
Administration.
Well, I know that the Fed is starting to work on some kind of crypto, centralized crypto Fed coin type thing.
Yeah.
So it might be one of those
That's
other
why
Fed.
I'm not in our XRP, because I'm like, banks will probably opt to use a US coin over XRP.
Well, okay, so this is to kind of sidetrack from the debate aspect of this. What's your take on the news about the IMF? Crypto.
Oh, that they launched that commercial.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not 100% read in on it, but I just wanted to
I
see
don't know.
what
All
your.
I saw was that they put out a commercial, and then Seven, this other guy who just hates cryptocurrency, told me said that commercial is actually 2 years old, but it's like the first time anybody in the crypto market that I know of has seen it. I listen to a few different guys, regularly, and this was all brand new to them. But the IMF just basically made an infomercial to explain to people what cryptocurrency is, and that it is essentially the future of finance.
So, the idea of the IMF coming up with its own token is kind of laughable because they already have one.
The US dollar.
No, do you know what I'm talking about? The SDR?
No, what's that?
Oh, shit. I'm going to have to open like my fucking. So.
Scott, can you try not to swear on my channel?
I know. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I will try. See, I thought about that, but because I'm doing two things at once, and I'm having a hard time regulating my. I'll let you talk a little bit because I want to give you informative and authoritative information. So.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand why you would think that Ethereum of all things would be a crap coin. It's like they're building an entire ecosystem on the Ethereum platform. It's got its use cases. You seriously don't think that smart contracts are going to be a vital part?
I honestly think it's a perfect example of a solution looking for a problem.
I don't know, man. I mean, even that IMF videos, even though it was like a couple minutes long, it made a very simple argument for smart contracts and for using cryptocurrency instead of.
So in 2016, I did a year. I was working for Siemens for a year, right, as part of my training with industry in the military, and they were very excited about Ethereum and blockchain technology. Companies like that are now no longer as excited about it because it's kind of like, oh, this would be a great use case for this, but then they kind of realize that it just doesn't. It just doesn't work, in the real world. Now, I'm sure there are other people who have found ways to make it work in the real world, but that's just where a lot of these companies aren't putting the big money into things like Ethereum like they used to.
Isn't Amazon using Ethereum?
I don't know if they are.
I'm not looking stuff up because I'm working. So, General Grudge, hello, Mike, and other odd Bitcoin aficionados. Yeah, it's 26 people watching us talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely.
SDR is used by the IMF for accounting and transactions between cryptocurrency and various national currencies.
Yeah, so it's like a basket of currencies that's held by the IMF, and it's essentially their kind of. I just can't remember what it stands for. Does somebody in the chat remember what SDR stands for?
Star Wars something or no.
SDR. I'm just looking it up. Special drawing rights, RIP. Yeah. So it's essentially an artificial currency instrument used by the IMF. It's built from a basket of important, just like I said. And the IMF uses SDRs for internal accounting purposes. So the idea, it's a
stable coin.
Kind of, right? And so one of the ideas is that the China and even some of the Middle East countries have advocated at various times to moving the international economic system off the petrodollar and onto the SDR, so that then, essentially all you have to do is control the IMF in order to control the SDR. And then, and because as we all know, China, their modus operandi for the last probably 20 years has been to infiltrate and, take over and apply influence to these international institutions. So it's been very interesting seeing how they've all kind of seeing the WHO all of a sudden literally have all these issues with Chinese influence. So that's the reason why, things like this are a bad idea. SDR. I just remember, I guess it was back in, a lot of people were really singing the praise of the SDR back in the mid 2000 teens, like 2015, 2016. And I just remember thinking that was such a bad idea. And it really kind of died out because, things ended up going in a different direction. But, I think everybody was just waiting for the crash, and that SDRs would have been one of the solutions, especially after the economic, the 2008, crash and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, that's what birthed Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, the 2008, right. That's exactly right. I'm looking through the CoinDesk, headlines to see if there's anything interesting to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I honestly think Sergey is Satoshi.
I don't think so.
Because he left Bitcoin to work on other projects, and he is
not. Whoever created Bitcoin was at heart fundamentally a libertarian. Only a libertarian could even come up with this as an idea. You know what I mean? Because even if, let's say, a country like the U.S. decided to adopt Bitcoin in order to kind of, corner the market and then use all of its advantages to the advantage of America, that still wouldn't stop, North Korea with a satellite connection to the internet to be able to mine Bitcoin and trade Bitcoin on the market. Right. Which would not serve us. It would only, you only want to be able to control your currency if it can, you want to be able to change the, capital flight laws if you want. You want to be able to change the interest rates. You want to be able to, do all these kind of
if you're controlling your currency.
That's exactly right, and that's the whole modern Keynesian monetary philosophy. And that goes, Bitcoin flies right in the face of all that.
Sure.
And so because of that, I just don't feel like, especially looking at Ethereum, because Ethereum is, by its very nature, a kind of a more closed ecosystem. It seems to me like, Vitalik is one of these kind of guys. He's a statist type of dude, right? And this is the Bitcoin a statist would make, with gas and all this kind of stuff, this kind of, like you gotta buy in on it. And the complexities of Ethereum have just created so many, rent seekers in the ecosystem. And, you and I know, as people who are familiar with economics, rent seeking is always like essentially economic leeching off of the whole thing. It's like all these companies that,
if you're going to essentially, what I always considered Ethereum as is the infrastructure for the blockchain marketplace, right? And if you were going to do that without essentially, using ERC20 tokens or some sort of a similar, as you put it, rent seeking thing, yet there's a purpose to having it all on your blockchain, making your blockchain available to other people to build their system. And I think of it as like a mall, right? Somebody's got to build the mall, and then people can start their businesses in the mall. And that's the way I see Ethereum, and I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with that.
Well, so like I'm going to refer back to that thread that I shared with you earlier from Matt Odell, and I think it's spot on with a lot of his criticisms. And so, like for instance, the Ethereum ICO, right? It was like the first coin that really had a pre-mine, and even before Ethereum, having any kind of a pre-mine would have been quickly labeled as a scam, right?
Before Ethereum, there was nothing. There was just Bitcoin.
No, there were other tokens. It just we hadn't gotten to the point where it wasn't the ICO era where literally there were 10 new coins coming out every day. And I remember that, and it was just kind of like, holy cow. But like,
how much did you get in at Bitcoin when you first got in? How much was it?
I first got in 2015, and then I got back into it a lot more. I was afraid that I had lost my wallet because I was using a paper wallet at the time.
So was it about $300?
Yeah, it's about right.
Dang. That's how much it was when I first heard about it, but my friend didn't explain it to me well enough that I took any interest in it.
Well, so I first heard about Bitcoin, when all the what was it? The Silk Road stuff was happening. What was that? 2012 or so?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was either 2000. It could have been even as early as 2011, but I think it was 2012. And I remember hearing about it, and so I was like, "What is this Bitcoin?" And so I looked into it, and I read some articles, and I read some stuff on the internet, and I got to the point where I understood it, and I liked it because, especially being a kind of a closet libertarian, I always thought that something like that was needed because it reminded me of the digital currencies that we used to use playing Cyberpunk. Like you'd have essentially a money stick, and you could pay things with this digital currency.
Well, they used to use Bitcoin on freaking World of Warcraft.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, but there was in Cyberpunk, back when I was playing that we had New Yen or something like that, or I can't remember. I think that was what it was, New Yen, but it could be something else. But the whole idea was it was just this digital currency that people could trade for value, and because it was decentralized, the government didn't know it, so it was great for all the illegal shit that you're doing in Cyberpunk. But so I understood it pretty well. When I first heard about it, but it took me a while to kind of overcome the technical challenges of it was.
Oh yeah, back then there were.
It was easy to understand it, but it was hard to jump in. Yeah. And so it was just, there was another guy that I got to know, and he had just gotten into it, and because he had read the article about the Bitcoin pizza,
Oh yeah.
Do you know that story?
Yeah.
So
everybody knows that story. I don't know what the audience does, but somebody bought 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas,
something but this was back when Bitcoin was worth pennies on on the coin. Pennies. So and so they could talk this pizza guy into, and so this was they call it the world's most expensive pizza.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so yeah, that's when I found out about it and finally got into it. And then, I stepped away for a little while, but then in 2016 is when I really started getting back into it. And I started getting excited about the general idea of blockchains and the different use cases and things like that. But my initial thought was, I went through a couple different stages. And my understanding of where you're at is that you see Bitcoin as your number one, but then you also are taking in the whole idea of diversification of your portfolio in order to kind of, take advantage. And also, so at first I was excited about the possibilities of blockchain, right? And all these different use cases. And so while I owned some Bitcoin already, I started looking at different, Ethereum and some of the other stuff. and trying to understand it. And like I said, I was working for Siemens at the time, so I was seeing what they were doing, and I was like, oh man, there's a lot of really cool ways. This is definitely one of those general technologies of the future. But the more I got to know about it, and the more I saw some of these, some of them are scammy, like Ethereum. Like, I don't think Ethereum is a out and out scam, right? I just don't think that. I do think it's not a great idea though. But there were plenty of ICOs that were absolutely scams, and they've come, they pumped, they dumped, and they're gone now.
Yeah.
You know, or they're still traded, but they're, you know, it's bag holders that literally own 12 cents of it when they used to own $1,200 of it. And so I saw that, and I'm like, okay, that kind of scared me away from some of the other alts that I was looking at, because I still hadn't like put my money down on any of them. And then that pulled me back to certain real specific use cases like Monero and Litecoin and things like that. And then that I saw it more as, okay, well, you know, if I can figure that it's not, you know, like I liked Ethereum Classic over Ethereum because of the immutability, you know, when they walked that thing back. I really didn't like that, you know, so that really kind of put me off of the Ethereum, you know, itself. But I still looked at others, like, you know, even like Dash, even a little bit, but you know, I kind of Dash lost his luster for me quickly. And ultimately I started saying, well, maybe I need to just diversify in some of the blue chips, you know, the top 10 type thing. Right. But very quickly I started looking at, okay, well, what makes something a scam? Right. Well, the idea is that I had a friend when this wasn't until maybe this was 2017, I guess. A friend of mine ended up turning into a bag holder, a big time bag holder on, I can't remember what off the top of my head, but you know, I used to literally ask him every day, hey, how's your token doing or whatever. Yeah. And because he, you know, he bought it, it went up, and then it crashed down, and he was like literally in the tank for like $1,500 or something like that. And you know, he was hoping that it would come back, and it just never did. And it was just a failed coin. And whether it was a scam or what, you know, ultimately the people who end up making their money out of that are the insiders, because they're the ones that know the deal's fallen through before they announce it, before the deal announced gets publicly. So they're able to get out of it. And because it's an unregulated security, essentially, there is no kind of, you know, SEC to hold their feet to the fire for insider trading or things like that. So the guys on the inside always are able to make their money. But it's the guys like me and you that buy those things that end up
paralleling the .com bombs so much, right? Because you had everybody and their mother wanting to get on the internet to have a
FOMO is real.
Right. And some of them, that's right. So, you know, there was a Google, there was a Yahoo, there was, you know, eventually there was an Amazon. And if you'd bought into those when they were $1, you know, there was 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 websites out there that you could have plunked your money down and lost everything. But there were the ones that are going to have that use case. And I just really think Ethereum, honestly, I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink are going to be the three. It's going to be, you know, I think those are going to be the tent posts of this industry 10 years from now. Because I don't think the blockchain is going anywhere. I think it's going to just continue to be adopted. I mean, you're getting adoption freaking everywhere now, in high finance and as well as tech businesses. Microsoft is using Bitcoin. Like I said, Amazon, I believe, is using Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. There's just always all this adoption news. I don't want to even get into it, but if it's gonna be here, and you're gonna need the marketplace, which, you know, you're gonna need the gold, which is Bitcoin. You're gonna need the marketplace, which is Amazon, and you're gonna need the Oracle, which Chainlink is. Like I said, Chainlink isn't even a blockchain; it's an Oracle. It's just there to facilitate communication between the BitChain, not the BitChain, the blockchain.
Yeah, it's this year's Tether.
It's to communicate between the two worlds, the real world and the blockchain world. And I think it's going to be necessary. And I think, since he's been working on it quietly for all this time, and he didn't try to pump and dump it the last cycle. He wasn't there trying to pump and dump. He was just him and his team quiet, working on it, busting their butt. It didn't have one of those big spikes like every other freaking coin on the market last time around.
You know what's interesting though? Despite the huge budget for development that Chainlink has, though, it still runs on a Ethereum based testing.
Yeah, and I'm curious.
So all the people involved, are exposed to the gas price fluctuations and all that kind of network connection, congestion, and and all the issues inherently involved with the Ethereum network.
Well, and you have to think about it. When he first designed Chainlink and he first made the website for smartcontract.com, it was all about Bitcoin. He adapted it to Chainlink. So I mean, he adapted it to Ethereum.
Yeah, it's not to say that there isn't some baby in the bathwater, right? In a situation like that. The thing I don't like is that is anytime it kind of stakes out on its own and becomes decentralized, it becomes its own thing, because then that allows for that, the hanky panky to go on with the market. And then you have the situation where you're having pump and dumps, and you're having rumor mills, and you have people who have inside information leading the trades. And it's going up, 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 and up. Now there have been some significant crash downs in Chainlink against the US dollar, but it's essentially a fairly, it's been going up. What's it at now? Is it above $8 yet?
It's 15.
15. Yeah, see, I don't follow it.
Yeah, but it's been like nothing. It was nothing until the mainnet launched, and then it went from like $3 to 20 in a month, and now it's down to 15, and it's currently in a accumulation pattern.
Well, I'm not going to say you're a bad person because you trade Chainlink. I just want to make people aware of why it is a risky proposition, and that's even when it comes to Bitcoin, people should not trade Bitcoin unless they understand what it is they're getting into. And I think that goes with any kind of trading or investment opportunity or anything like that, where
the first time it goes down 30%, they're going to think they lost all their money and get out.
Well,
it's like, welcome to Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, just it's a very volatile market.
Yeah. But I'm, like I said, I'm not just, and I believe Chainlink is going to do very well.
Who are the two guys that founded Chainlink?
Sergey Nazarov, and I don't know who the other guy is.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember his name, but I can't just bring it up all of a sudden. But to me, these guys are always selling their link, from the the pre-mine or however it works, So, and they're taking advantage of this market, right? And so
I have to look into that.
Yeah, they are. So that and you. I don't think that's a hidden thing, and they get significant discounts to the current price. When they go over.
But you have to think about it. If he's been working on it since 2000 and I'm trying to remember when he started. 2014, I think. He's put 6 years of his life into it.
I'm with you. I understand that. And I don't have a problem with somebody working hard and making money off of it. The problem I have is that, people, probably not like me and you, because we actually follow this, but maybe somebody in the chat who is interested in something like Chainlink, they're seeing these huge returns, that are being made over the last year, right? and they're thinking, well, I'm going to buy Chainlink. Well, all of a sudden they decide to finally cut their, share the majority, sell the majority of their holdings, and all of a sudden what is 15 today becomes $2 tomorrow. And that uninitiated person who is just now getting into crypto and started off with Chainlink because of the great recent growth is going to be like, well, what the fuck just happened? They're going to get wrecked.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that will happen with Chainlink. And maybe you're right. Maybe Chainlink will be here 10 years from now. Maybe it'll be an Ethereum, another, just somebody, as long as somebody thinks something's useful, it continues to be useful. But as soon as it stops being useful, and that's one of the issues with, so the gas is one of the other things that I have a problem with, with Ethereum. I mean, just the way that's structured, because that's that money that keeps kind of pumping into that central organization, and so it's that's problematic for me, to use an SJW term.
Well, they're not doing it out of just the goodness of their hearts. I mean, damn, it's 17.
No, I'm with you.
Super genius. He probably knew a lot more about programming than he did about finance.
You talking about Satoshi?
No. I'm talking about Vitalik.
Oh, Vitalik. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, like I said, I think that Vitalik is at least as good a businessman as he is a coder. But because the business case is built into the Ethereum model. It is a money generator for those who have centralized control of that system.
Yeah. I tell you, this cycle, Vitalik's probably going to be the richest man in the world. I think Ether's probably going to get up around, probably by the end of 2021, it'll probably be worth $4,000 or $5,000.
You think it'll go that high?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at fucking, what's the, I can't, coin market cap.
It's like 400 right now.
I haven't looked at coin market cap in months. So when you only trade Bitcoin, it makes it easy not to have to worry about all the other coins. Yeah, so 402, I mean, that's not super high. It seems like I remember back in the day, it was traded in the $200 range.
Yeah, but
that was back when Bitcoin was like at 4,000.
Yeah, I just think during this cycle, I mean, we've already had so much institutional investment money coming in. JP Morgan's coming in, friggin'. I just and the fear of all of this quantitative easing is going to push people into putting money places like gold and like Bitcoin. And I think if the market goes up that high and Bitcoin dominance drops down to like 35% again,
I don't think it will though.
I do. I really do. Because a lot of these things are a DeFi. I know you said you don't think the DeFi thing is going to be, but with all these financial institutions coming in, I really do think DeFi is going to be.
So here's the thing. If I were a JP Morgan Chase, or if I was like, I don't know, any one of these financial institutions, right? If I saw this situation, I would not get involved with like Chainlink, for my kind of, real world to the crypto marketplace communications. I would create my own. Why use somebody else's, especially if it's based off of Ether where I got to pay the gas, right? Why use somebody else's when I could just create my own and then make it available at a discount to my customers? And so they're incentivized to use, okay, we recommend Bitcoin
I think that's fair long term, but I think that, dude, it's like steering in industry. They don't turn on a dime like you and me, like, retail investors can be like, well, I think I've decided Chainlink is a flop, so I'm going to pull it all out and put it into Aave or something like that.
Ethereum Classic's down to 28. Zcash I don't think was a scam.
Zcash
I'm
is
sorry.
another privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like privacy tokens.
Dogecoin wasn't a scam. It was a joke.
Yeah, it was, man. I don't know how it's still
So
there.
funny. I gotta admit, that's really funny. It's still there. It's 40th on
It's
on.
crazy. It's crazy.
What's it worth now?
I'm really curious about where XRP is going to be.
I'll be
Because
honest with you. I think a lot. So I can't remember. Somebody made an announcement recently that they were not going to use XRP for their international trades, and I
yeah,
was like, "Well, isn't that the point of XRP?"
right. But see, that's what I'm thinking is if the IMF or if the USD creates something, the banks are going to use that instead of XRP.
Well, I mean, all they need to do is make a Swift coin.
Yeah,
You basically just convert the Swift system to
blockchain.
basically a closed blockchain.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, I don't think that's necessarily a great idea, but
yeah. But no, that kind of goes back to my point about how slow the industry would work because yeah, the industry might eventually do that. But until then, they'll use the technology and the Oracle that is available. I mean, it's not like it's the only Oracle. You know, there's Band Protocol, there's DOS, there's some handful of other ones. I think Polkadot is an Oracle.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, it gets back to, remember I started off with a joke about principles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I knew that somebody had a good deal for me, and it really was a good deal for me, but I knew this was somebody who was either lived their life in a way I just chose not to support that, or I knew that they were scamming. They
Mm-hmm.
weren't necessarily scamming me, but I knew that somebody eventually was gonna, the music was gonna stop and somebody was gonna be left without a chair. If I
Yeah.
knew that was the case, just by the design of their product, no matter how much they wanted to help people that they were trying to serve as customers, I wouldn't do business with that person.
All right. Yeah.
And that's how I look at things like Ethereum. They're basically sucking, they're sucking percentages off of everybody's, business, so it's essentially a rent-seeking situation, right?
Yeah, but that's business, man. I don't.
But it's not. But that's just it. If you could create a coin that allowed for smart contracts that didn't have that built into it. If you really love smart contracts.
Who has?
And so
you've got Tron, you've got ADA, you've got Cardano.
That's exactly right. So
Lumens.
it's been done before. But why don't those things work and why don't they take off? Well, because there's no kickback. You know what I mean? And that's ultimately it, right? They want to create
no, hold on, wait. If you are say I'm Comic Coin, right, and I want to use Stellar Lumens instead, and I'm still driving all my business through my own personal marketing efforts. Why would I use something like that's going to cost me additional money instead of using a blockchain like Lumens?
I don't know why you would do that in the first place. But okay, I mean, you see, this is where you're finding a use case for something that I just don't think is even needed.
No, I'm not saying. This is all theoretical. Like,
you mean,
like
but
you're saying it's like something Ethereum is doing to drive people to use their platform, but they're just.
But
why is everyone using Ethereum if they've got all these other competitors out there?
I mean, a lot of it has to do with early to market advantage. There's a lot of marketing that goes into Ethereum. There are a lot of very savvy business deals that got a lot of different big name corporations involved. And like I said, I mean, there were a lot of for instance, Siemens was talking about using blockchain technology for decentralized urban power generation. And so you would use the blockchain in order to monitor how much power you generated, like through your solar or and then that goes into their network, and then the blockchain would then track how that power was used, and then that would help credit back to you, for being part of a larger distributed power. So, which sounded like a great idea to me at the time. But as I thought about it, I was like, well, it just seems superfluous to the entire, you could just simplify the whole thing, I think. And you don't need a blockchain to do that. A blockchain is great. I think a blockchain is great for the initial thing that it was designed for, which actually blockchain wasn't designed by Satoshi, if I remember correctly. That came beforehand, but it was just the application of it to finance, to decentralized finances, where is its killer app. The blockchain's killer app is Bitcoin. Everything else is just a good idea, but it ultimately you're pushing it uphill. When Bitcoin, you ride the blockchain downhill. Does that make sense? That's how I see it. And it's not to say, well, that's very clever. Ethereum is very clever. And like I said, I don't think that those guys are over scam people. I just don't think that they're in it to make money, not to make something that's going to change the world. Because ultimately, like if Ford starts using Ethereum to do something, ultimately a company as big as Ford is just going to make their own thing that does the same thing. It may take them 5 years to do it, but eventually they're going to look for a way to cut out the middleman. And that's exactly, Ethereum is essentially the middleman, of crypto finance.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think they're the guys that built them all.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, but eventually people are going to stop going to the ball, as we've noticed here.
Well, true, but I don't know. At that point, they are Coca-Cola. I mean, well, okay, Bitcoin's Coca-Cola. Ethereum is going to be, Sprite.
RC-Cola.
No.
You can still find RC-Cola in Coke machines now and then. I mean, because I don't use crypto as a investment the way I do stocks and bonds, that's one of the reasons why I got away from the whole idea of, diversifying my portfolio, via cryptocurrencies. You know what I mean? I didn't need to diversify my cryptocurrency because when I look at crypto, I look at it the way I do with gold or something like that. It's my store of value for the long term.
Right.
And it just so happens that right now it's very volatile and it's making, us a whole lot of money. But, eventually it's going to get to the point where it stables out because it's going to become the backbone of the financial network.
Yeah. When Bitcoin's worth, or when the whole market is worth $7 trillion, it's going to be really pretty boring.
Yeah, but that being said, I'm going to be a millionaire, so
yeah,
I'll be
for
okay
sure.
with it.
Me too.
Thanks to that paper Bitcoin that I finally traded in.
I'm not going to. Because like I was saying, PayPal's getting into the space. If PayPal modifies itself into an exchange that allows you to use your PayPal card to buy something, and it'll instantaneously draw USD out of whatever wallet, whether it's Ether or whatever, you've set it up to draw from. I'd rather have all my money in Bitcoin and then pay for stuff in cash with a PayPal card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I would love to get to the point where I essentially hold all my money in Bitcoin. So I'm spending Bitcoin to do things, and
Yeah, and it just instantaneously exchanges at market rate for that moment.
Yeah, I mean that would be great, and I think someday we'll get there, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, but dude, that's why I was so stoked that PayPal got into the game, because I already do that. That all my money's, I almost never carry cash. All my money's digital already.
I know this is a little off this topic, but it made me think that that the whole term DeFi might have kind of gone over a lot of people's head, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't fully understand what DeFi meant. I mean, it's a staggering concept. I just didn't understand exactly what it meant until just recently.
Yeah,
And
it's called decentralized finance for those who don't know.
yeah, and so like just the idea is, so like on the web, you can't buy something without giving the site owner data to learn everything about you, right? Because you're essentially buying things through credit, and as we know, credit is, you're given credit because a financial institution trusts you. Well, why do they trust you? Because they have a lot of information about you.
Right.
So through DeFi, you can borrow money without anybody ever asking who you are. So it's essentially a trustless kind of transfer. And so like, this gets into the whole yield farming thing.
That I don't trust.
Yeah, that is, well, so like, what is it, yam or whatever?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It went up
So,
like 500% in like one day and then
perfect example. I mean, so for every chain link, there's a yam out there,
Right.
Yam, it was.
No, but hey, Aave is offering mortgages on DeFi now.
Jesus
mortgages.
Christ.
So there are houses now on the blockchain.
Apparently they're bringing like credit default swaps and all kinds of risky, shit into DeFi. So, buyer beware. So, I mean, people are, they're, that's that whole yield farming. Yield farming, by the way, is where people are just chasing like whichever pool is getting the best annual percentage rate from week to week. So you're going from one guy to another, and it's a kind of almost like an arbitrage is how I saw it. But and so it's just really risky, and I don't understand why people want to. I don't know. I mean, I guess if something's risky, then there's an opportunity to make money, and somebody will always chase it.
They're like unaudited too, right?
Right. That's right. And so they go from
what happened with Yam. There was a bug in the program.
That's exactly right. It was like essentially like a single period or something like that.
And then everybody lost all their money, and it was like $500 million or something. Like
unbelievable.
It went from like 200 million to 500 million in like one day, and then it all crashed. So buyer be very, very aware.
And so that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, people just get wrecked without even doing anything wrong, when you have these type of situations. And so, so can you do DeFi with Bitcoin? I mean, that's one of the, so the answer is yes, but you have to use Ethereum to do it, which is why, Ethereum is would be very happy to host something like that. Because, like I said,
there's also financing where you can actually, I don't know if you have to wrap it, but you can hold your Bitcoin and actually borrow money you can borrow fiat against your Bitcoin. And to me, if I'm going to refinance my house or something like that, if I just have to lock up my Bitcoin and I don't actually lose my Bitcoin, I'm just locking it up in order to refinance a house, something like that. Wow, what an advantage, right? Because then your Bitcoin's still there. It's still, growing. This parabolic run for the next 2 years is going to be insane.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think DeFi is what's going to end up wrecking Ethereum, though. I think DeFi in so many ways is dumber than, the ICO boom from, 2017 or whatever.
Really?
I just do. I think I think something like this is going to call in the scammers. And even if somebody comes in with all the best intentions, if the scammers come in and give everybody a black eye, they're just gonna walk away from it. So even the people with good intentions are gonna they're gonna turn into bag holders, because they're gonna still be trying to do DeFi when everybody's walked away from it. I mean, like, so for instance, nothing's beaten Bitcoin over time, right? But there's one thing Bitcoin can't do is make more Bitcoin, which is exactly what you're kind of trying to do with DeFi, right? But this is not a problem with Bitcoin. This is a feature, and so I think ultimately that's going to bring people back. Just the whole idea that there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. I mean, I think that
like 4 million are lost.
And at least 4 billion are lost. I think Satoshi has 1 million, right?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, dude, Sergey.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I'm with you there, but it's, I don't know, DeFi, man. It's scary. And that's just it. If something scares you, you shouldn't invest in it. And the fact that it scares me, and I understand crypto pretty. I mean, I'm not an expert, and I would, if I went on one of these streams where people do are big time crypto talkers and are up with all the news and everything like that, I would quickly find myself over my head, right? But I still feel like I understand crypto, which is a lot better than most people. I think, probably even better than 50% of the people who actually own Bitcoin. But
oh my God, dude, I was at a con one year and I had a sign up that said I accept cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And this old grandma came up to me and she's like, "You accept Bitcoin?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "You can use it to pay for stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I didn't know that." She's like, "I have some."
Sure, I'll sell this comic for 1 Bitcoin.
She bought some. She just doesn't know what it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't you remember when people were freaking out? Like, it was grannies were calling their kids to find out about how to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah. By the way, Bitcoin link in the description if you guys want to get some. We haven't done anything to explain it to anybody, but
if I'll try to give you my shortest explanation of Bitcoin if the chat wants to hear it. Otherwise, I'll just continue to yammer on about whatever it is that I'm going on about.
Dang it, cat, stop trying to step on my crap.
And you guys know that I really want to talk Bitcoin because I haven't even plugged my new comic yet.
Which is
Sidekick Island. It launches tomorrow morning. It's basically Snowflake and Safe Space meet the Hunger Games. 44 superhero sidekicks, from the Bronze Age and Silver Age mold to the more recent SJW style characters are pit against each other on a island, and only one can survive. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's a satire. It's going to be freaking hilarious.
Tell everybody your other books, Door Kickers.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I just recently fulfilled Door Kickers. So if anybody listening ordered that, you should probably have it by now. If you haven't, let me know. But it's I've been very gratified seeing that get in people's hands. People are responding I have not had one person either say it didn't come, it got damaged on the way, or I read it and I don't like it. So I think that's a good signal. Door Kickers 2 is in the works, and so I'm looking at probably next spring to roll that out. Hopefully I've got that ready for the Fans Fest next summer.
You think that's going to happen?
I think it will. It may not happen in May, but
who's putting it together?
Well, Ethan's running the train on it, but I think ultimately he's so busy. He's starting to be a Todd McFarlane, and he's getting people to just kind of do stuff for him. I think that's smart. I think that's a good way.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you guys are going to put a con together, you need someone who's actually put a con together before to do it.
Exactly. I wouldn't. I don't think it would be smart to do it any other way. And I think he recognizes that. And I'll be honest with you, even if he wanted to get involved with the, detailed planning of it, I don't think I think he realizes he doesn't have the time to do it.
Yeah, that's, it's a lot of work.
I can only imagine.
Honestly,
I've never done it.
I don't think it's August, right?
No, so it's supposed to be
No, I
May.
mean August right now.
Yeah.
If he hasn't already booked someplace for next May, it's not going to happen.
Well, I think that they've already. I mean, so clearly, we're just talking out our ass. We're not involved in the
No, I know people who've put on cons. I know the guys at San Diego, and I know Apple. And
based on what he said in the past, it sounds like they've already kind of started talking to venues, and so either
right.
and so they've got the small room and they can get the big room if they need to, the kind of thing.
Gotcha. All right.
But so Psychic Island's coming out. Oh, and I wrote. I'm a writer. In case you guys have never heard of me before, I know, but it's been a while. And I also wrote Peregrine Wings of the Falcon, which is. Have you seen how well we did?
Book, dude, fantastic looking book.
We have good. We couldn't have gotten any luckier with our artist, Doug Franchin. He's amazing. The colorist from Farah Nurmaliza, she did my colors on Door Kickers. She is doing that as well. And so I've been real lucky with that team and working with the Graded 0.5 guys. They're just awesome dudes. And so Ellen Piper, she's not a dude, but, she's one of the boys. But, those are all great folks. And it's just been a lot of fun working on that book. And I can't wait for that thing to come out. And we're already working on Peregrine 2. So
nice.
And I've even got a spin-off character, basically a villain story, at least a one-shot planned, and that'll be next year as well.
Busy man.
Right. I try to stay busy, man. I want to, I want to make these comics, man.
Yeah, me too. Weird, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of gets in your system.
So do you still dollar cost average, or are you just?
Yeah. Well, I haven't really bought much in a while. I dollar cost averaged over. Let's see. When was the low? Was it about
6 months ago or something?
Was it 6 months ago?
Oh gosh, it was longer than that, huh?
Yeah, it was last year, like when it got down to like 3,800.
3,800.
So, yeah. So I started dollar cost averaging again when it got down. I guess that would have been last summer. Yeah, because I was in.
Yeah, I really wish I had money back then.
Yeah. I heard you were in your straight.
That was not nice.
But so I started dollar cost averaging as we went up, which I don't know if you guys know what dollar cost averaging is. That's basically every time it goes down a little bit, you buy some more over time. It's just a good way. That way you avoid the highs and you buy the kind of the midterm lows. And if you dollar cost average since the all-time high of Bitcoin, you still would be up, probably about 80%. You would have made 80% of your money, and that's buying it from off the high. So, but so anyway, that's what dollar cost averaging is. So yeah, I've been kind of doing a little bit here and there. I'm thinking about so there is a couple different products out there that will allow you to do weekly buys and will look for like weekly lows to do auto buys for. I'm thinking about doing something like that. Just do like maybe $50, $100 at a time every week. Just kind of keep plugging away.
Yeah, I do the Rich Dad Poor Dad thing. Have you read that?
No, I haven't read that.
It's basically about making your money work for you instead of spending your entire life working for your money.
Yeah, are you talking about like the whole? Is that Kiyosawa or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, Kozak. Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, yeah. So he's all about like passive income.
Yeah, pay yourself first.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I've been doing that for a few years now, putting money into crypto. Like every time I'll put a percentage of my paycheck in, and it's yeah. So I've got a nice little crypto nest egg now.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that we're heading back up. You know,
No,
I think we're going to see a pullback to 10,000 though, but probably
it's possible.
I think we'll stabilize at 10.5, something like that, and then I think then we'll be on the march back to 14. Because if we go up, if we turn up from here and go up to say 14, that's
Mhm.
just unsustainable. You don't get it. There's nothing free, like we saw when we went to the 19,000. We went up to 19,000. We went back down to 3,000 because that was completely unsustainable. That almost that entire 6 months leading up to it.
Yeah, that was a lot of retail investors just FOMOing in.
And they got wrecked.
They did.
Most of them did because they weren't looking at the day trade type thing. Now, I mean, you were able to get out. If you bought at 18 going up to 19, you were able to get out above 15 fairly easily.
Dude, I got a friend who at the peak he had 88 million in Bitcoin,
Mm.
and he liquidated. I think he ended up getting about 60 million out.
That's exactly how you do it. And then you just leave the rest in, and then it doesn't matter if it goes down because you've
No, no,
already.
no. I mean, he's all out. He took everything out. This dude started buying Bitcoin at $34,
Mm.
and then it hit $19,000. He had freaking 88 million in Bitcoin, and then he's like trying
Imagine
to
the tax bill on it.
try to cash it all out at once, and the market was going down. He's like, can't get it out fast enough, and so he ended up with about 60 million bucks.
I'd take it. But he still paid 40% probably
Right,
on the tax.
right, yeah. But there's a guy that builds and sells tech companies, so this wasn't really a big thing to him. Would
Well,
have
I mean,
been
so
a very big thing to me.
I think this has been a productive, talk here.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of the Comicsgate stuff, but it's nice to, kind of put that kind of stuff aside and be able to, talk about the other stuff that we have in common. And the interesting thing about a lot of the divide last year was there a lot of it was being called kind of anti-Christian versus Christian and that kind of stuff. But I can tell you, guys like me, I'm I'm a diehard Christian. I'm always going to be, and you know, so there was still plenty that we had in common. Even in the dark days. I think the good news is I think a lot of that's behind us. So
Well, I personally, I just noped out because of War Campaign and Ethan.
yeah,
It wasn't a big
I
pro anti-Christian thing for me.
but there
I
were a
just
lot of people
noticed,
out there. There were a lot of people out there that were saying that though.
well, because a lot of Christians left. And I know this because they told me.
Well, and I think that that also kind of got back to the whole gay thing, because a lot of Christians have a problem with homosexuality in all its forms, and I understand that. But what I don't understand is why just because you have a religious view on why somebody is a sinner or not a sinner, it's kind of like that shouldn't be the reason why you know you have a disagreement with somebody, because yeah, if I didn't like a lot of the people that I didn't share their faith, I mean, how would I have ever have been able to get by in the Middle East trusting my Afghan and Iraqi counterparts,
Yeah.
and in every country I've been in, while I may be contemptuous of a lot of those folks, there's a lot of them that I gain real trust and friendship with. So it's kind of like we have to figure out ways to, you know, look past those kind of big differences, And I think it's interesting. I don't know what you think about, the current state of the Republican Party, but I think the Republican Party is going to start being much more welcoming of people that the old school, evangelical Republicans never would have been.
Well,
Just because I think
bigger tent.
Yeah, well, that, and I think that the whole the social conservative stuff is kind of falling away, and it's kind of like the libertarian side I think is really starting to assert itself. But you're right, the bigger tent helps you win elections.
Yeah, I mean, was it Reagan said if you agree with somebody 80% of the time and disagree with them 20% of the time, that guy's an ally.
Well, I don't like the term ally in our current,
He's a comrade. He's a comrade.
Commie Mark would say that, yes. Well, hey, Mike, I appreciate this talk, man. If you ever want to talk Bitcoin, maybe, if there's some other guys in the scene that want to talk Bitcoin, maybe we can do this semi-regularly or something, because I definitely...
I love it, dude. I'll talk Bitcoin all day long. My fans tend to get a little irritated by me bringing it up all the time. But it was today on my other show. I was like, look, I don't talk about this for my benefit, right? This is the future. And like I told you, my friend started buying Bitcoin at $34. Freaking dude didn't tell me when it was 34. He didn't say anything about it when it was $34. And then, I find out after he sees me posting about it, he tells me he's been buying. And I'm like, you could have,
told me.
been a friend and let me know that this thing was a thing,
Boy,
lovely.
It's good. It's all happening over there.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, today I'm like, I talk about this for your benefit, not for my benefit. You and me having this conversation, that's for my benefit, just because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I have no problem being mocked and derided for believing in stuff that other people don't. But
well, it's easy to do that when something is on its way down. When it starts going back up, there gets to be a point where people start wanting to know more about what's going on, and they start asking questions. And this may be even some of the people who previously made fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're coming into a phase in this crypto cycle where guys like me and you can help people understand this thing, and if they're and figure out if it's right for them.
Right. Exactly. All right, man. Good talk. I'm gonna answer some questions in the chat. So I'll see you later, brother.
All right. Take care, bro.
Come on, peace. All right. Let me wrap up some questions here. If you guys have any. If this sounds like the end of a conversation, but that's in addition to people making habit of being lowbrow in general and airing out grievances to strangers on air instead of talking to friends behind closed doors like a mensch. I don't know what the conversation was, but I agree with you, Rhaegar. Here's the precursor. The reaction to the Pride is a Sin tweet revealed more to me than anything else about the principles of these folks. Lots of SJW-like qualities surfaced. SJW-like qualities surfaced, sadly, as a result. What's up? Yes. Ray. Kung Flu Kitty says because a lot of the attacks on people were related to personal principles and mocking those principles and purposefully being vile to violate those principles. True.
Vile to violate those principles.
V for Vendetta, violating violations of vivacious similitudes. I still miss Mike and Malin in the morning. Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen again. I see the way. Never mind. I'm glad to see the Comicsgate war stuff dying down. Well, I mean, whatever. I just had issues with. You guys know. I don't need to go through that. I think it would be cool if there was a CG con, but people are whack. Thank you, Nixie. Mike is losing money though. What? I feel like I need to go back and read this stuff in order to know what the heck you guys are talking about. Tell you what. I'm going to start at the beginning. I'm going to start at the end. If you guys have something to ask or something I should address, hit me up. Otherwise, I'm going to start wrapping this down. Wrapping this up. Wrapping it up, not down. Don't wrap it up. I mean, don't wrap it down. Oh, hey. There's Edwin on the Jenny and Edwin, the Republican National Convention. Nice. That is simply par for the course. I listened to a podcast where the hosts constantly joke about progressives getting invited to speak at CPAC. Before him, he worked for Cruise Camping. Oh, no. Read mine, says Victor. Victor, I don't want to read yours. You have my docs. Turn me in. I can't control these thoughts anymore. Maybe par for the course. It also means we are generally losing the argument on important things like economics. Calliope says, I just don't understand what made Malin decide to get so aggressively angry towards Mike and DNQ. It seemed to come from nowhere. I honestly don't know either, Calliope. I think it was just a sense of he was very upset that I left Comicsgate, that I disassociated from Comicsgate. He just really, he was like, it doesn't matter if you don't like Ethan. You don't have to be on Ethan's show. Just don't leave Comicsgate. And he just really wanted me to be on the boat grabbing an oar. But I just couldn't. Because of Ethan and War Campaign. So War Campaign is well, I mean, it's not like they're gone. They're still there. They're just their own thing now. Jalapeno Milk says, I think Malin wanted the show to get bigger by Comicsgate audience. Well, D&Q still had Comicsgate. I mean, Kevin Sharp is Comicsgate. Eric Nienoltowski is Comicsgate. It wasn't a CG only. I never believed in that whole CG only garbage. I said CG only was antithetical to the ideas of Comicsgate, and I still believe that, although it doesn't matter to me now. But it certainly, I mean, people were welcome, CG or not CG. CG or not CG? That is the question. Whether it is nobler to suffer the slings and arrows of the Fat Pie Man or whatever. To take arms against a sea of War Campaign. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. I had Dan Fragon before he was CG. I had Aaron Lopresti on. He was on CG, not CG. It didn't matter to me. So I don't know. Comicsgate as an audience was certainly welcome, of course. So yeah. Jalapeno Milk, do you want to pop in here and handle the chat for me while I continue to work? It is only 11:30 at night, so I think coming back involves a few different levels of coming back. I will not look. I'll just tell you flat out. I will not associate with Comicsgate while Ethan is involved, which means never. And in opposing them, end them. Wait. Wait. All right. I'm gonna drop you the thing here. If I can find you, I know you're here someplace. I know you're here someplace. All right, never mind. I'll just go to Twitter. Twitter sucks for DMs. Drop the link. Drop the link. D&Q was tough for Malin's pride. It's hard to claim you're a great artist when every week you are put to shame by amateurs. Oh, Elrod. Drop the receipts.
Drop the receipts.
Drop the bass.
So what did I miss? There's some kind of Bitcoin debate?
Yeah, we had a nice long Bitcoin. Oh my gosh, I just forgot who I had on.
Scott McCullough.
Scott is a Bitcoin maximalist, which is in crypto speak, that is someone who only invests in Bitcoin. Bitcoin supremacist. Elijah says, no. Bitcoin maximalist.
Bit premicist. Bit premisum.
Presemicist. Something.
So what'd you decide for D&Q tomorrow, Mike Barron?
I'm thinking Nexus would be cool.
That would be cool.
Would be cool, right?
Yeah. I don't know what Nexus is, actually.
Oh, it's Mike Barron's famous space. No, it's not bad.
Oh, you know what? He should come on because he just relaunched Offworlder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see if he wants to come on. I don't think he's gonna stay up that late. But yeah, I could bring him on for a hot minute.
Yeah. Mike Barron, see?
So you missed all of the Bitcoin debate?
Yeah, Bitcoin. I haven't checked on my Chainlink. I should go buy another one.
Another one.
It's like when you give a cat a treat.
Yeah.
Have one.
Now have another.
Yeah. Secret project tonight?
Secret project. Yes, indeed.
Very cool. Let's see. Calliope Knight says Malin stopped even trying to compete in D&Q by the end. His art was barely even competitive, and an artist of his caliber was obvious he did not care anymore. See, I think that shows more than anything he did care.
I think he was phoning it in on purpose because of he was having all of his minions come in war campaign by the hundreds to vote for him.
Yeah, that was the stand they were going to make.
Yeah.
The great big point was that we can decide who wins on Mike's show.
Yeah. Yeah. What a hoot. What a hoot.
And we're going to spam fudge in the chat.
And it was absolutely worth it to destroy a friendship.
Yeah. Sad days.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, well.
Let's see. Fuzzy Creature thinks he was doing you a favor. Doesn't think he was a deep thinker.
He thought he was doing me a favor.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to. I don't know. How do you have that mentality that gosh, if I just bully this guy enough, he'll come back?
You know, there's really no greater story than forgiveness.
Yeah.
As a Christian. So anytime I think about Malin coming back or friendships in general being repaired, that's something I'm usually for. We all have such hard hearts.
I was explaining this to my friend JJ last night.
JJ.
Yeah, I had a nice long talk with him last night. I'm happy to forgive anyone who seeks it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what our faith's about.
Yep. Yep.
I think at the end of the day, that's if I ever write a comic book, if I ever do any fiction, I really don't think there's a better story to tell than forgiveness and redemption.
All right, Mr. Dead.
My opinion is that EVS joined or was sent to CG to neutralize it before it became the center-right powerhouse it was meant to be. Regardless of ideals, CG is now EVS and only EVS. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's a little conspiracy theory, but I love a good conspiracy theory. So
I do too, but this is people making money on the internet. You don't need to search for much more than a profit motive.
yeah, and the profit motive is modus operandi.
Yeah. Who would neutralize CG before it was even really relevant, if it ever was relevant, honestly?
It was relevant in the sense that it was irritating people.
Yeah.
It was irritating people who suffered from severe Trump derangement syndrome already.
Yeah. Well, I was watching Dave Finch tonight. He was doing a drawing stream with his wife. Yeah, he does it every Monday. And I was just thinking of what I could add to the chat and the discussion. And my overwhelming feeling was, don't say anything about Comicsgate. I gotta, not that I ever was, holding that name or anything, but I consider it like the Super Bowl, and we have different teams, I guess. So if I call it Comicsgate, that doesn't mean I pledge allegiance or anything like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mention it either.
Yeah, I wouldn't. And then I want to mention like artists I've known through Comicsgate, and it's like I don't know if I even want to mention them.
Nah. Yeah, JJ was shocked that I had left. I'm like, yeah, that was like a year ago, dude. I'm like, I didn't have time to tell him because I had to go do something. I'm supposed to call him back though.
Who, Finch?
No, JJ.
JJ, that's right.
Finch with JJ.
Do you know Finch?
I've met him and I've talked to him, but he wasn't one of my comrades.
Seems like that guy.
Yeah. Talked to him at Alamo City Comic Con a few years ago for a bit.
CG is mostly EVS's marketing campaign. The rest is fringe factions. Deep Take, Fuzzy Creature Thinks, Kung Fu Kitty, General Grudge agreed forgiveness does not require reconciliation. So you could be friends with somebody, but you never have to do anything with them. I guess is what she's saying.
Does not require reconciliation.
The deep comic book state, Mr.
The purpose of forgiveness is reconciliation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your forgiveness is what?
Hard to say.
What purpose would forgiveness serve if it was not for reconciliation?
Yeah, I would think. Muerte Annunciata. Hey, everybody.
Muerte!
Let's see. David Finch probably doesn't have the spine to stand behind Mike. Ethan does. CG does.
Is that Victor?
Yeah. I didn't even have to say it.
You didn't even have to mention his name.
Oh, Victor.
Oh, Victor. Doom, doom.
Oh, man. CG didn't change the big two. I remember I was talking to Ethan on his live stream, and he said, we want to make $10 million because we'll be 1% of the comic book market or something. And I was thinking, you're going through all this turmoil to get 1% of market share? I don't know. It just felt weird. I would never try that hard for anything to get 1% of it.
I don't think they're going to make it.
I don't think so.
So they'll probably stop talking about it.
Yeah.
It is already August.
Not going to be this year.
No.
Unless, what's that latest campaign? I don't know, there's a lot of decent stuff coming out these days. Decent. Let's see.
I'm just gonna put a bunch of scantily clad women over here because that's part of his character at this time.
Scantily. A blue line pencil.
Yeah.
What millimeter?
0.5.
I love 0.5.
That is my weapon of choice.
Doug told me to try 0.9, so
I know, but Doug, nah.
So I wouldn't scrub. He said, "I like scrubbing."
Well, he said because it's like you want to treat it like a paintbrush. I understand that, but if that's the case, just use a regular pencil instead of a mechanical.
Yeah, we did see Edwin.
That big hunk of lead and just be, drawing like this.
Yeah.
Just get a regular pencil.
I found these 0.5s at Walmart the other day that I like pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm still on the search for a comfortable digital inking setup. I have not found it. I've tried Procreate, tried Adobe Fresco, Photoshop, everything. I can't find a single thing I enjoyed. I've tried downloading the brush pack that Kanan talked about. The True Grit, I think it's called. And that's interesting, but not really what I was looking for either.
I cannot help you there, sir.
No, of course not. But I think I enjoy the finding the right tool as much as I enjoy drawing at this point. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but I certainly enjoy my time focused on art.
Sorry, Max hit my camera again.
Uh-oh. Let's see.
This cat hates it when I close the window. He'll come up. He won't even be in the room. I'll close the window and he'll come up here just to open it.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Did you see Edwin on TV on the RNC?
I didn't see. I saw a still screen of it. It's on the Discord, but I haven't seen the filmage.
Yeah, I think I saw Ellis posted it
On the Discord.
We haven't had Ellis on DNQ in a while.
Right. He should be good for Nexus.
Oh yeah, that's right up his alley, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ellis.
Oh, Ellis. We have need of you.
I think my favorite he drew was the Earthworm Jim with the money bags. That's a good episode. He should have won that one.
I should have won that one.
What happened to Ellis? I think he's just busy. And DNQ's kind of late for those East Coasters.
And he's old.
Yeah.
Ellis is old, man. Ellis is old man.
AT&T's downsizing won't change anything at DC Publishing. It might as well be shut down. It's from Nick C. I don't know. This DC fandom thing was interesting.
You know, it's funny. I went to watch it, and the one time I went on there, it was that woman of color panel, and I'm like, really?
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember what they called it. Boss.
Boss.
Like BAWSE or something. Boss.
Oh no.
We are boss. Like Black African
woman of
socialist. I don't know what the hell it stood for.
Experiment.
Woman. BAW. Yeah, Black African women of
special education.
Who need special education. I don't know, something like that. It was the boss panel, and I was like, okay, I'm done. You know what's funny? I'm on Facebook, and there's this Asian Americans in comics panel, or not panel, group, And I'm like, I'm an Asian American in comics. And then I went to click on it to join it.
And
then
you were blocked.
No, it had this list of, questions. There's like questions, to join a group. It's security questions and whatever.
They got a litmus test.
And I just sat there for a second. And I'm like, I don't want to be a member of any group that requires that I be, a particular race or ethnicity. It was just so antithetical to the way I usually think that I'm like, okay. And so now they're constantly sending me the thing, you haven't answered your questions. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to.
I changed my mind.
I changed my mind almost as soon as I started applying.
Yeah, I hate Facebook. I'm embarrassed to have Facebook at this point.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, oh man, I was thinking about posting something. I'm like, oh, my dad's gonna comment on it with some cringy nonsense. I better not.
Facebook is where I keep up with all my friends from high school, which is funny because that's kind of, it was supposed to be a college sort of yearbook thing.
Yeah, of the pretty girls around campus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now we have TikTok for that.
Right.
Yes. I was on TikTok earlier.
I thought it was banned.
I wish it was. I'm addicted to that thing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, quit.
I know. I need to lose weight too.
Oh, dude. I got
Uh-oh.
a thing.
Uh-oh.
What's it called, Elijah?
Weight loss coin?
No. No, the thing I bought.
You got a thing you bought?
The exercise thing. What's it called?
Both legs.
Stealth exerciser? Stealth core trainer.
Stealth core trainer.
For Helix, they're $300 at Walmart.
Huh.
Cats and jammers. All right. Well, I got here. I'll share screen. I got one of these things.
Oh yeah. $300.
Yeah, except I got it on Facebook or Instagram or something, and so it was $100.
Really?
Yeah. And holy cow, dude, that is a hard workout. I'm like wrecked after like a minute. I did it for I think like 2 minutes or something yesterday, and then you know how like that makes all your muscles sore. And then today I got on there and I only lasted like a minute. So
James Hayes says it looks like something a girl would use.
It's super hard.
Mm.
It is, and then it's great because I got all the kids to use it too. So this isn't exactly the one I have, but it's essentially this. Mine looks a lot cheaper. It doesn't have foam all over it. It's got foam in these two pads here, and then it's got this spot.
What do? You just lay on it?
You plank on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like this.
And then it vibrates or something?
Play this game. You play these different games where you're twisting and you're maneuvering and all of this stuff, and it just, dude, my stomach feels like I did 100 sit-ups.
Uh.
And then my shoulders and my lats. It's like my whole upper body is just.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm working. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. Good to know. Don't waste your money, Mike. No, I already did, man. I already have it.
It's too late.
Too late now. But it's, yeah. I took a picture of myself yesterday. Well, yeah, today. So I'm going to do this every day for like a month and then take a picture.
Mm.
We'll see. Because, oh my gosh, dude, my stomach muscles are so sore right now.
Yeah, be careful with that kind of thing, because I got a hernia doing that.
Oh, no. Planking?
No, I was doing Spider-Man lunges. And I was 30, 31, and I've been doing abs inconsistently. So I went and did this new exercise somebody showed me.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was doing it, I had this like ripcord feeling in my groin area. And next thing I know, I can't move.
Oof.
So, and it was when I was doing those stupid irregular sit-up routines. So if you're doing that machine you got there, just keep in mind to not overexert yourself or get too excited doing it. So, man, at your age, yeah.
Hey, man, I just want to tighten up my core again.
Yeah, well, you could do that regular planking. You could.
Regular playing is boring. This has
It
games.
is. It is.
This has video games. This is what motivates you to stay on it longer than you would doing some boring planking thing.
I've been doing my cardio workouts on the PlayStation VR, so I can't judge you.
And I'm making the kids do it before they start playing games. So.
Yeah. Kung Fu Kitty. Yeah, I got a half hernia or something, but the doctor was like, "Yeah, you got a bump there, but as long as you chill out, you'd be fine." And then, a year later, I never went back to the gym. So,
Yeah,
not that I stopped working out completely, but it really slowed me down.
You're in mid chill out still.
Yeah. I got a little setup in the backyard. I got a Bowflex back there.
Oh, do you? Nice.
Oh, yeah. I don't really depend on it much, but it's nice to have. And I got this nice little bicep bar thing. So I just need a couple of 25-pound dumbbells, and I'd be off to the races.
Yeah, I got a set of 20s, but we're using them to keep the cat out of the garage. Hey, turn it down. Because we have a cat door in the garage from when we used to let the cats go outside all the time. And we've done everything. Tape that sucker up. And can you turn that down, please? Gosh, darn it, Jojo.
See, Fuzzy Creature tried getting thin using a DDR pad once. Kung Fu Kitty did too. It's cardio.
DDR.
Yeah, Dance Dance Revolution.
Well, we have P90X too, but whew.
None of that stuff matters. I mean, if you're motivated, you could use the ground.
Yeah, well, if you're motivated.
Yeah, if you're
doing something like, if you're motivated enough to use P90X, you'll get ripped so fast.
Yeah.
I had a friend that actually did that, and man, he went from slob to freaking Hercules, like so fast.
Oh yeah. Victor feels like an AIDS patient. I never feel strong. And he says he does have AIDS, so pray for Victor.
Pray that his misery ends quickly.
Pray that he gets the help he needs.
Oh, that's much nicer than what I was thinking.
Victor, you can't shadow box AIDS.
Anybody try getting thin with Tybo? My mom bought Tybo when I was
Billy Blanks.
Like a kid, man. Yeah,
Billy Blanks, man.
Back in the day. Billy Blanks, motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know. I figure if I meet the right girl, I'll get motivated to go work out. But I haven't met her yet.
Yeah. About that.
I don't think I'll meet any women. Not with this COVID thing still going on.
I just want to find a nice girl who has COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I was supposed to go meet up with a girl Saturday, but I put on my go out clothes and I was like, okay, I don't fit in my pants and my stomach is making this shirt look ridiculous. I'm going to stay home.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
So I just told her I went to sleep.
Have you been on Oz's show lately?
No, I haven't seen him doing it.
No?
No.
Oh, that's the pity.
I had enough YouTube drama for a bit. You know, I had the expose done on me recently, so I take my lickings.
I
I'm gonna take my lick, and
know enough about that to not care.
yeah, I just want to move on from it. I never want to hear about that again.
Yeah. I had people trying to tell me about it, and I'm like, yeah, I know enough not to care. I have a life. I know it doesn't seem like I have a life, but I do. And you and Preston had an issue. You and Preston figured it out. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Done. Why is this still continuing with anybody?
Yeah, hopefully people see it that way.
Well,
hopefully,
it's just people want to get into other people's business. It's your and Preston's business. Period. Right.
right.
Tell. From my limited understanding of the problem, it's your and Preston's problem. And
yeah, and the wiki and all that. And, enough's been said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I worked it out with Preston. The information's out there. They can find the videos that they want to see it. Guilty as charged.
There you go. Guilty. Apologies.
I prostrate myself before thee.
And we're done.
Yes. I have video game streams to do.
Yeah. The guy who was offended forgave.
That's right.
Done deal. All right.
Yeah, Preston's a good guy. I got nothing but good things to say about him. Publicly.
I don't know him. I've talked to him one time. It was a fair, decent conversation. So
yeah, he's a swell guy, actually.
And look, has he done stuff that I would personally not do, and but I've had other friends do it too. So like, I can't condemn him for. I'm not going to get into any specifics, but it's like nobody's perfect. Me most of all. Well, maybe not most of all, but pretty high up there.
Yeah, Fuzzy Creatures with you, Mike. He says, I still don't know what's going on. It sounded so stupid it wasn't worth bothering with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Good. Yes, it was stupid. I made mistakes. But worked it out with Preston, told him everything, good to go. And we got cool stuff in the works.
What?
Yeah. I got cool stuff in the works. I was streaming Super Nintendo net play with somebody earlier. Gonna do retro game stream night some night. Super Nintendo.
Can you hear this behind me?
Yes.
It's so annoying. Seriously, Josiah. Go watch on the TV or something. Take a phone or something.
See, Erotimus says best weight plan I was ever on was my jaw wired shut. From average build to Karen Carpenter in 2 weeks.
I'm just trying to get to average build.
I don't know what Karen Carpenter is.
I just want to look like this guy, right?
Who's this?
Is that so much to ask?
I'd be fine with just not having my stomach peek out of my shirt.
Dude, that's the worst. That's the worst, man.
I should never have started drinking beer again.
I just want my chest to protrude further than my gut.
Yeah. Should go back to vodka. Let's see. She was a starving coma girl back in the 70s. Okay.
Who? What? Karen Carpenter?
Yeah. Mike should try jazzercise when he feels better, or better yet, mousercise.
That was good. Who said that?
Wee Switch had a hernia mesh put in his friend, and he's allergic, and it breaks out and oozes with rashes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so don't get a hernia.
Beautiful story.
Beer is what men drink, Rhaegar. Ugh.
I drink wine.
I should drink wine. Where do you get it? At the grocery store?
I drink port and wine mixed together, which I know port is wine, fortified wine, but
$2 Chuck.
no, it's not that cheap, but it's there's different ones. I like a Pinot Noir, but you got to get one that doesn't suck. So.
Mike needs a shake weight.
I've had one of those. Are you gonna vacuum or something? All right, I'll close my door. It's not that hard.
Timotei Best warns us against Impossible Whoppers due to the estrogen content and moobs.
Estrogen.
Yeah, like they had some study that the Impossible Whopper had an impossible amount of estrogen in it.
What? Is it also
soy? From soy or something like that.
Fermented soy. See, your soy's got to be fermented properly, otherwise the estrogen will get you.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Unless you do.
Unless you do.
You know.
Yeah, I got some rulers the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, this isn't working the way I wanted to." And then I thought back to it. I go, "I should have got a clear ruler."
Yeah.
That makes sense to me now.
That's the way to go.
Yep.
Yata-ta-ta-ta. Yata-ta-ta-ta.
Do you do your hatching with a ruler?
Not generally. Sometimes if I feel it's necessary. I feel like I need to reference the shot I already did for this room, but I'm totally just making it up as I go because I'm.
How did the writer on this describe the panel layout? Did you figure that out, or was that at his direction?
I am the writer on this.
Oh, okay. So what did you write in the script for the amount of panels you had?
6.
But then you kind of have it like
I made it 7
and stuff.
I added this one.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. It's like sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you're like, you know what? I need an extra beat of action here. Because here he's swinging and he gets the sword knocked away from him, but then he does this move where he like tucks it, sort of hides it under his arm to surprise the other guy. So I need to like kind of the way I described it, it didn't have enough actual moving
action.
Actually moving parts.
Mr. Dead in his pocket says never vacuum after midnight.
After midnight, we're gonna vacuum all the house.
The vacuum ab workout is an excellent ab workout. All you do is you stand up straight and you suck your stomach in for as long as you can hold it.
I can't do that right now. My stomach muscles hurt from doing that.
Something that Schwarzenegger used to advocate for a lot.
Schwarzenegger. I'm going to be president of the United States because I was governor of California.
But I have many movies about time travel. Yeah, the Terminator franchise is pretty much dead, huh?
I guess so. I thought it was dead after Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 was the best sequel.
Terminator 2 is trash.
Oh, no.
Trash.
Someone get Mike off there.
Terminator 1 was a perfect film. Terminator 2 was trash.
Terminator 3 was really good.
How do you remember it?
No fate, but what we make.
I thought it was no future, but what we make.
No, it's fate.
Oh, no, fate. I thought you said faith. See, fate, future. That's the same. Yeah.
California. Salvation was a good movie. Fight me, says Rhaegar Targaryen.
California.
I'll fight you a Ruby Ford, Rhaegar. Mike, no, warns Muerte.
What?
Zarkana Chronicles was mostly good.
Yeah, I heard that.
Good overall.
Few stinker
That's
episodes.
the voice that Elliot was doing on Friday. I was trying to remember what he did.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he was doing Schwarzenegger all Friday.
Crom.
Help me now. I told you.
How could I even compete with that kind of energy?
Uh-huh.
Elliot is a force of nature.
His crown was out cromming my crown.
Let's see. Terminator and Terminator 2. That's the story. I agree. I thought Terminator Genesis was all right. Except for Jai Courtney. What an awful actor that guy is. He was also in Battle Angel Alita for no reason.
I could tell it was Arnie's voice. I couldn't remember what voice he was doing. Like I was trying to remember the other day. And I was like, what was Elliot doing?
Speaking of dead franchises, they're about to kill Jurassic Park.
Oh, Jurassic Park's still alive?
Yeah, they got one more coming out this next summer. But that Fallen Kingdom was a stinker.
Yeah. I still like Chris Pratt though.
Yeah. Muerte says next you'll say you don't like Temple of Doom. I've never seen any of the Indiana Jones movies.
I do not like Temple of Doom. Sorry.
There's
More disinvite me from ever having a barbecue with them again.
Yeah. Well, you got to stand by your movies you like, and he LOLs you.
It's true. It's true.
Kung Fu Kitty likes T1 and T2, but they got dumber after that. That's correct.
I kind of want to start inking this, but I kind of don't because I know I'm not going to get very far before I nope out.
I wonder if we'd have enough subject matter to do like a Terminator night for D&Q.
Terminator night. Everyone just does Terminator. Wow.
You know what would be better than that would be like a Schwarzenegger night.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, do like Total Recall, Predator.
Look at the twins with that individual.
What was that movie where he got pregnant?
Junior.
Oh yeah. Well,
Junior.
who wrote that thing?
I want to be a mother. I don't know who wrote it, man.
A lot of white stuff.
Great though. I love Twins.
Twins. All right, you're talking. You got people going against T2, Liquid Metal.
Because it's trash. T2's trash.
Liquid Metal. James Cameron.
What about him?
He doesn't make a bad movie.
He did. It's called Terminator 2. And then he did the other one called Avatar.
That was all right.
Avatar did.
It was all right. Taking what?
Space Dances with Wolves.
That came out.
Here, have sex with this tree.
That movie came out 10 years ago.
I'm going to have the characters have sex with the horses. It's going to be great.
We're going to put our ponytails together.
Gene Wilder night. There you go. There you go.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah. Everyone's going to do Blazing Saddles or Young Frankenstein, and I'm going to be here doing Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother.
I'd probably just draw something from Willy Wonka.
Or you know what I could do? I could do like, remember that that Daredevil cover where he's hugging Elektra's grave?
Oh yeah.
You could do Gene Wilder hugging. Oh, okay, that's bad. Never mind.
Yeah, the first Terminator was a kind of a horror movie.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Kind of
right.
set up the same way. Harrison.
Nothing clean, right?
Harrison.
Right. Your clothes, give them to me.
I hope you left enough room in my stomach. Your stomach. Left enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach. That's what it was. Rodimus. T2 is trash. PG-13 remake.
That's right.
6 was just, it was obnoxious. Kung Flu Kitty. Like, we're going to have a girl Terminator again, but she's not actually a Terminator. She overheats.
So she's on the Terminator rag.
Dolph Lundgren would have been a good Terminator. Maybe. O.J. Simpson was supposed to be the Terminator.
He was.
Yeah.
Just in real life.
He took what do you call it? Method acting?
Took the role way too seriously. Nico, help me with my role.
Terminator Night. I don't know about that. Might as well do like a Save the Future night or something.
Terminate her. Get it?
Yeah. Maybe like a future apocalypse night or something. I don't know how many movies are future apocalypse though. We did?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I remember something like that.
Yeah. We did dystopian future night.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about your art swap idea.
Uh-huh.
How trade pencils and inks with people.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to start it out, maybe get 2 people that are interested in doing that, and then just have them 2 swap.
Just 2 people.
Yeah. That way it's not overwhelming and big confusion.
But then what does everybody else do?
I don't know. Whatever they want.
This is not a good idea. Wow.
Lol.
Wow.
Predator Night.
Predator. Hey, we haven't done Predator.
Aliens versus Predator.
Ooh, you know how long aliens take to draw?
Yeah, good point. Might as well work that into like Creatures from the Stars night or something then.
So, alien night.
Face horror night.
Face hugger.
Yeah. Mecha McCheese with face hugger.
Well, we could do like, crossovers like Batman versus Predator type stuff, but not really that because
I'm going to devalue someone's piece big time for auctions, Victor says.
Victor, take your meds.
Predator Night.
Which
Predator Night sounds like what happened on Jeffrey Epstein's airplane. Okay.
Oh.
Rhaegar.
Oh.
Gundam Night, Nixie. Maybe a Mecha Night would be cool. Gundam's a little specific.
Mecha Night. Get it?
Oh, yeah. Every night's Mecha Night.
I'm totally using a marker instead of a quill.
Rodimus says aliens take 2 minutes to draw.
Not
Rodimus. No. They're doing DBZ over on the fan edition this week.
They're doing what?
DBZ.
BBZ? What is
DBZ? Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, I'm going to be on that one.
Enjoy yourself.
Oh, we will. I'm going to do Super Saiyan 100.
Whatever. Oh, hey. Remind me to care.
Power Rangers night? Yeah. They're kind of basic costumes. Predator night, everyone draws Chris Hansen. Yeah. Super Soaker 100. Super Soaker night. Let's all draw Super Soakers. Oh, you know what would be cool maybe for a shorter episode would be like a weapons night.
Weapons? What?
Yeah, just draw like a sword. Draw your most epic sword.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. Draw the God sword.
Ooh. People do want that
Uzaki-chan
sword.
night. Yeah, I draw Uzaki-chan a lot, actually. I like her.
People do want the God sword, don't they?
Yeah. I lie 1 minute, says Elrodimus.
He just did it.
He just did it right now.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Let's see.
I think that's all the ellipses I need for this page.
Kung Fu Kitty's got it. She said I'd sweep Mecha Night. Yep. That's right. Blanca Night? Okay, you missed Street Fighter Night. Geese Howard Night. Okay, now you guys are just naming characters from fighting games. Nintendo Night was good. Aside from Aaron Lopresti.
What happened with Aaron? Oh, Aaron was here earlier.
Was he?
Yeah, he said go to bed.
Oh.
Aaron thinks just because everyone's as old, or just because he's old, everyone else should be old.
Yeah. I'm still thinking Cruise Night would be a good D&Q.
Cruise night?
Yeah, draw your favorite cars.
No.
But then you'd have to get car anatomy, right? Car anatomy.
I think the only person to ever draw a car during Drawn and Quartered was Weldon.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Weldon, are you watching? Are you on snooping again? He does this because he tells me stuff. He's like, oh, yeah, when I was watching it, I'm like, you were watching and you didn't say anything. Why don't you come in? I was just watching.
I'm not going to lie. I've lurked like that sometimes.
You lurking bastard.
MJF night? Who's MJF? Found Mike's weakness you have.
What?
Car night. Car night would be cool.
I can draw cars. I just don't like drawing cars.
How about a motorcycle?
I can draw motorcycles. I just don't like drawing motorcycles.
Airplanes?
It's one of those things. It's like I will do it and I can do it well, but I just don't. I'm not going to do it for fun, for Pete's sake.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Who's that?
I don't know.
I know who.
We've done Ladies' Night before, right?
Oh, 'cause it's ladies' night. What do you mean, ladies' night?
Like a, I don't know, cheesecake episode?
Isn't that most episodes?
Yeah. I think it'd be a bit risque, but
Milton Friedman night.
it'd be cool to do like a swimsuit issue night.
We could do Milton Friedman night.
Who is Milton Friedman?
Who is Milton Friedman? Milton Friedman saved America. Nobody knows. Yeah.
We should have a powdered wig D&Q.
Does anyone even know how Milton Friedman saved America?
No.
In the late 70s, we had this idiot for president named Jimmy Carter.
Ah.
And Milton Friedman did was it a 10-part? I think it was a 10-part PBS series called Free to Choose. And it like motivated a bunch of people to start getting back into caring about free market and Austrian economics and whatnot, and it even motivated Ronald Reagan.
Something about making a pencil.
That's right. Something about making a pencil.
PBS to finance a video about making a pencil.
Free to choose. That is correct. Free to choose. I had my kids watching it the other day. Actually, I was so proud. I was just walked into the living room a week or two ago, and Elijah was just listening to it on his phone while he was playing video games.
Nice.
For no other purpose than to listen to it.
Yeah, if I have a game that's not particularly good, and I usually try to maximize my time with a live stream or something.
Yeah.
There's no good video games lately, anyway.
It's a
Nothing good.
worthwhile 10-parter. You can find it on YouTube like everything else. Yep. Thomas Sowell's on there. His guests who after it's like he does this presentation for like the first 30 minutes, and then the second 30 minutes is debate basically between him and some pro and anti, some Keynesian and some Austrian economic.
He turned Thomas Sowell into the greatest economist, huh?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Although Thomas Sowell was still a socialist when he was in Friedman's class. So I don't remember when Sowell actually. Oh no! It wasn't. Yeah. So Sowell actually, or Thomas Sowell, he became a capitalist after working for the government. He was working for the government, and he realized that they weren't interested in actually solving any of the problems. They were only interested in getting the budget to continue dealing with the problems as they had them. And he's like, well, this is stupid. Yeah, Don Rumsfeld was on there. That's right. A spry 50-year-old soul was on that one.
It's funny. They're talking about these people rioting in Wisconsin right now, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we saw him going to the store to get some food for the long night ahead."
Wait, what?
So they're using capitalism to destroy capitalism.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The Wisconsin riots right now.
Oh yeah, tell me what's going on there, because I've only seen some of the crazy videos.
All right, did you see the video of the guy getting shot?
Oh, the knucklehead.
Yeah, his name's Jacob Blake, I think.
Yeah, that idiot.
Yeah, so he ignores cops. They got guns pointed at him. He just nonchalantly walks over to his car.
Yep.
Reaches under the seat.
Yeah.
And I guess his children were in that vehicle. So, that for whatever Monday morning quarterbacking we're doing, we got to keep in mind, these cops had their gun drawn. He was reaching underneath his seat for.
Oh yeah, I saw that video.
Who knows what, and the kids were in the car apparently.
Absolutely idiotic.
Yeah,
I don't want to see anybody get shot ever, especially in front of their kids. But what a freaking moron!
Yeah, come on, dude. Zero sympathy. But anyway, so they started rioting, I guess today or tonight, and they set a whole car dealership on fire.
So yeah, I didn't make the connection that that's why they were rioting.
Yeah. Rhaegar says there was a politician who faked being kidnapped to get votes. I think I heard something about that.
Hey,
Seems like she got embarrassed.
thinking outside the box.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have taken one of it. I was killing. See, yeah, it was pretty nasty. But yeah, I guess he's still alive, by the way. But he's had a couple. He's got quite the rap sheet apparently, and they're rioting for him. That car dealership they burned down had a Black Lives Matter on the marquee.
Oh, was that picture? Oh,
Yeah.
Of course it does. Of course it did.
Imagine owning that car dealership. You lock up for the day, go home, and next day you come back, everything is literally burnt to a crisp.
Right.
Like what insurance would even cover that?
I don't believe insurance covers acts of terrorism.
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It's I remember someone talking about that before.
Yeah, Fuzzy Creature thinks that the police side was embarrassing too, but there was a gun found in the car. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to me that the problem with training, if the guy didn't have any weapons on him and he was reaching for one, why couldn't the dude tackle him?
I mean, I guess he could have tackled him, but really,
I don't know. Then you got to worry about him having a knife.
If you're going to put a cop into a scenario like that, you're an idiot. You're a Darwin Award-winning moron.
Right. Especially with all the tension in this current climate.
Yeah.
Kung Flu Kitty says, someone said it best. Why are all your martyrs violent criminals?
Yeah.
It's a good question. Well, I attribute that to rap music.
It doesn't help.
I think it just glorifies criminal lifestyle.
Yep.
Like the same way that me as a private used to talk about deploying is the same way that a lot of these kids idolize going to prison. Just doing their time. But, I can't say that really because, then I'm a racist because I think rap music's bad.
What always cracked me up is how they wear their clothes. They wear their shorts or their pants like down, exposing their underwear.
Right.
That's literally like what gay prisoners to show that they're available for pegging.
I don't know. To me that bothers me, but what bothers me even more is the thought of having a belt and not using it correctly. I've you ever been at the end of the day and like you just need to get this clothes off and get in the shower and you're just dragging your clothes everywhere. It's not comfortable.
I've had this conversation with my plumber. And for him, it's just a matter of comfort. It's like because he's constantly up and down, and squatting to and it's like he'd rather have to pull up his pants when he's walking around than having to be constantly uncomfortable in all the weird positions that he's got to be squatting. And I'm like, all right, because I was like, dude, I'm gonna buy you a belt. He's like, no, man. He's like,
Let's see. How could the police tackle him? They can't use chokeholds, tasers, or pepper spray. See, I don't know. I haven't been through any police training. It's just my instinct would have been to get that dude on the ground. But my instinct also wasn't involved in that incident. So I'm just, armchair quarterback in here. You don't get to close the distance in a scenario like that. Too easy to go sideways. Well, I would think that if somebody's belligerent enough to ignore a gun in their face, there's not much hope for him at that point. It's either drugs or...
That level of belligerence is just incomprehensible. It's like I had a shotgun in my face from a cop once. I did everything that guy told me to do.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys have this lack of fear. I don't know, man. You see that other video of the shootout. Like the guy was holding some sort of a submachine gun, and or it looked like a submachine gun, and then the other dude comes up like to beef with him, and puts a gun to his head, and then you can't hear the audio, but he's like the guy with the submachine gun starts walking away, and then the dude with the pistols like following him, and he's like yelling at him and stuff, and then the guy with the submachine gun turns around and he's still they're like holding guns at each other, and then the dude with the pistol like puts the gun down on the ground to be like, come on, fight me, and the other dude shoots him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like that Indiana Jones scene, but kind of in reverse somehow.
Like popped him a few times and then walked up and then capped him in the head.
Yeah. But okay, so apparently I got a couple detractors about my music comments. The thing with rap music is it's like a big part of their culture.
Oh yeah.
It's not just notes, tempo, and tone. It's the message they're delivering.
If you heard dope, man, you'd think I own a drugstore. Getting busy because I know how, and if a sucker talks, I give him a...
Well, that and like what Cop Killer back in the day, or F the Police.
Yeah, that was NWA. It was just...
It's like sometimes I wonder how important rap music is to the community.
It's good at creating heroes out of villains.
Yeah. Like in the Bay Area, kind of where I live, everyone talks about this guy Mac Dre, and to mess with them, I always say, "Oh, you mean the bank robber?" Because that's what he's known for, and they're like, "Oh, man, that's messed up. You can't call him that. Well, he did music, he did great things." Like, yeah, he's primarily known for robbing a bank. That's how his music career took off. So, I don't know. All the best musicians I've ever heard in my life had nothing to do with no bank robbing. But I had a pretty good musical appreciation.
Well, Johnny Cash. But he was
yeah, he was pretty good. My favorite music is music without lyrics. You hear enough people talking throughout the day, you just want everything to kind of just shut up.
Yeah, I'll put on Mozart for that.
Yeah, something like that. One could say the same about rock. You really can't, though, because rock music is dead. When was the last time you heard a guitar on the radio?
Rock music died with Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses took a golf club to it. They didn't stop.
Guns N' Roses was the last great metal band.
Yeah, they're all right. They're all right.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Rhaegar thinks I agree, but it's more than just. Yeah, I agree with you, Rhaegar. Rap music's just what I see as one of the big cultural, artistic. I don't know what to call it. Rot. It's like cultural rot, I'd call it. Like this Cardi B video that came out, music video. WAP. Just come on.
Yeah, but there's rap music.
Yeah, well, this thing is just like I've never agreed more with the warning label on a CD, like they did back in the '90s, than when I heard this Cardi B thing.
Yeah, I haven't heard the song, but I've heard part of.
Did you see the Ben Shapiro video on it?
Yeah, that's. And I was on Instagram or Twitter, and I saw someone had done a video of Ben Shapiro's head on all of those women, and then they put his reading the lyrics to the music.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that one, but
that was interesting.
I've tried listening to that song a couple times, and I can't make it past a minute.
I've never tried listening, and I don't know why you would bother.
Just to be critical of it, have an opinion on it. It took me a minute to figure out I'd never wanted to hear it again. And then they had Cardi B interview Joe Biden. Come on.
Sure, why not?
Ugh.
Come on, man.
Ugh. Let's see, Fuzzy Creature says metal still exists. It's rock that doesn't. Well, I heard Nickelback's coming out with an album soon.
Who was sniffing glue in that interview?
What's that? Who was sniffing glue? Yeah. Vlad Riot saw Guns N' Roses on Roskilde Festival.
I saw Guns N' Roses with Metallica.
Ooh.
Was that 88 maybe?
Man, I was a year old.
Shoreline Amphitheater, I believe.
There you go.
Or no, it wasn't. Was it the Cow Palace? I think it was Shoreline.
I've been to the Cow Palace. Fuzzy Creature asks, "What's a Nickelback?" That's a band.
I don't even know what they play.
They say that a hero can save us. From Spider-Man 1.
Huh.
I want to be a rock star. That one.
Huh.
Yeah, it's bad stuff. Steven Crowder has been live streaming Monday through Thursday. But he had the quartering on this morning, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How was that?
Brief, but interesting. You could tell Quarter Pounder was nervous about it.
Well, heck yeah, man. What'd they talk about?
Leafy, I think it was.
What's that?
That's YouTuber that got banned without warning recently. He made a video critical of Pokimane. And I guess YouTube called it bullying and they canceled his channel.
What?
Yeah. And he had like 4 million subs or something too.
Wait. Unlisted Leaf?
No, Leafy. Leafy is here. I think it's. Yeah. This is how you remind me. Yeah, Crowder's been having guests on recently. He had the Hodge twins recently. That was pretty good.
Yeah, but he's always had them on.
Yeah, I like the Hodge twins.
Yeah.
If you put them in MAGA 7 too, I bet they'd take notice of it.
I don't think there's going to be a MAGA 7 2. There's going to be a Monster Hunt 2.
There you go. New guest. Oh, okay. Doesn't trust new people. Yeah. Yeah. Good old Jeremy. Wonder how he got that.
Got what? Got on there?
Yeah. I wonder how he got on Crowder.
Oh, quarterback Eric.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Quarterback. Naple hasn't been on yet. That's correct.
Neither have I.
Rhaegar says Biden campaign slogan shouldn't be "Build Back Better." It should be "Come on, man."
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Why would I take a cognitive test?
What is a cognitive, anyways?
Yeah, you can't find it at the store. I can't buy one.
You need to get me one of them cognitives.
Let's see.
Just look with my marker skills.
Is that a Sharpie you're using?
No, it's a Copic multi-liner.
Copic?
Yeah.
Looks very nice.
Multi-liner. Look at them abs. I want them abs.
Well, his love handles are going past his hips.
Those are called obliques, and they are muscles.
Yeah. I haven't seen my obliques. I'll have to go find them.
It's been pretty bleak for your obliques.
It has been.
Have you seen Guns Akimbo?
Guns Akimbo with Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I heard about it.
watched it last night.
Any good?
I think it had some really fun action stuff. The story was meh.
Yeah.
The acting was okay. Actually, I can't complain about the acting. But some really, really unique like storytelling stuff as far as cinematography and whatnot. Sometimes it was getting a little, what's the word where you seem like you're trying too hard.
That covers it.
There you go.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I don't want to say the word I'm thinking of.
All right. Well, it seemed like that at times.
The Sven computer fiasco. Yeah, I don't think that worked out that great for Crowder, actually.
Sven computer? What happened to Sven computer?
He went into like some kind of SJW meeting and it was just a little over the top, I think.
What?
Yeah. Not gay Jared, I think it was.
Sven computer is not gay Jared.
Oh, I don't know. Well, anyway, I think they had like an episode that didn't turn out as good as they thought it was.
I have not watched as much
Sven
as
computer.
Sven computer. Try hard. Thank you, Clen Butterball, and welcome to the channel, Clen. I don't recognize your name, so.
Clen Butterball. That's definitely.
You came here expecting Bitcoin talk, but that was in the earlier hours of the show.
The great bit debate.
The great Bitcoin debate. That was a good talk. Good talk. Scott knows what he's talking about, but I still disagree with him.
Yeah. Let's see. Not gay Jared left because his wife got pregnant and they wanted to be near family. Okay.
Oh, really? Is that why he left?
Yeah, I heard that too, actually.
I thought he left because he got scared crapless after that knife incident with Antifa.
Maybe that was it too. There was a whole thing where supposedly Sven demanded too much money and quit, then smeared the show.
Was? Why would Sven computer need more money? He's a computer.
They left on good terms, Ray Garces.
How do you smear the show and then leave on good terms? Beep beep.
Is it really a debate if weapons got drawn? I don't know.
Because I was drawing weapons?
I guess so.
I get it. You're being the funny.
Yeah. One of these guys here. Oh, that's Fuzzy Creature. Fuzzy.
Fuzzy. Mr. Fuzzy. Fuzzy creature in my wine. Speaking of wine, I kind of feel like going and having myself some. Man, I freaking dropped a whole glass of wine last night on my carpet.
Uh-oh. Did you get that wine away?
So bummed.
Carpets are easy enough to replace.
Yeah, sure.
Meh. Kinda.
All right, I am not going to finish this tonight, so I think I'm just gonna.
Running out of gas.
Yeah, well, I want to get to bed before I'm out of gas.
Oh, Clen Butterball wants to know what this channel is about.
Well, primarily I'm a comic book artist, and I'm also a Bitcoin fan, so I do talk that occasionally. But a lot of my comic book artist fan hate it when I start talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin. So I thought I'd do a specific show tonight about Bitcoin, and I had a guest on who is a Bitcoin maximalist. So we were debating the finer points of the blockchain, and but otherwise, we do a lot of, like, tomorrow night we'll have a drawing competition called Drawn and Quartered. Me and a number up to 8 other comic book artists will be all drawing the same subject and competing for your love and attention and your vote, most importantly. And then on Friday nights, we usually do something called Friday night auctions. And in between, I'm usually doing some sort of a drawing stream where I work on various comic book projects that I do. And I have guests on, like my friend Mecca here, and we'll shoot the crap. Always wondered, how long does it take to make a comic magazine? If you have a full crew, as in penciler, inker, editor, you're getting paychecks and not having to work other jobs to do it, it should take about a month for each part of the process. So you'll have the penciler taking a month, the inker taking a month, but they'll overlap, right? So the penciler will do 2 to 5 pages and then get them to the inker, and then the inker will do 2 to 5 pages, get them to the colorist, then the colorist will do, the inker will also get them to the letterer at the same time. The letterer will be doing them at the same time. The editor will be overseeing this whole thing. So with overlap, you should be able to get a comic book done in about 2 months time. However, when you're doing everything yourself, like I am on my projects, it takes considerably longer. And so because of that, I do longer books. I do 48-page books, generally speaking, and then offer them up for sale on crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Glenn says, blockchain is a great idea if there was no government, but as long as there is government, then Bitcoin will be shunned. Well, I don't think so. Is this drawing going towards a comic book? Yes. This is a secret project I'm working on with a YouTuber who has a significant YouTube following, far better than my 6,000. And we'll be launching it after I'm closer to done. So all the questions Clen has. Subscribe, Clen. Stick around.
Yeah. Come get some art Friday.
Yeah.
See it drawn.
Tell us how you found it. Was this channel recommended to you? That'd be strange. I haven't seen a recommend in a while. Sniper Wolf? No, Victor. Put your bizarre desire for Sniper Wolf away.
She's got her appeal, I'll say.
Oh yeah?
Not my thing, but I definitely appreciate her.
What do you appeal about her?
She's full boned.
What?
She's
back
thick.
She's a big fat girl.
She's thick.
She's a big fat person.
Yeah. Search for live vids, but there used to be a live webcam section on the YouTube live page. Well, instead of looking at Mike, you get to look at his page. But Mike does appear on camera once in a while.
Wait. I searched for live vids. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There used to be live webcam section on the YouTube live, on my YouTube live page.
Probably just his own.
Oh.
Well, thank you for finding Blacklist Universe. Hope you stick around.
Yeah, man. For sure.
And if you do, you find some other artists you might like too, like Matthew Golden.
Lots of guest artists on. So and a lot of them are professional comic book artists. So I don't know if you're into that, but that's what we do here. Very artist heavy channel.
Victor says she's a fine specimen, will produce strong children. That's my attraction too, Victor.
I don't think you have any evidence of that being true. The children part, anyways.
The guy from Red Bank does not like thick. Well, sorry to hear that. Well, I like Taylor Swift too. That's my number one.
As long as you put a sock in her mouth.
I'm fine with it. I don't listen anyway. My ears are open, but they're not hearing anything. Taylor Swift.
It's obese.
Huh?
Rhaegar says thick usually means obese.
Ray Thulu says I'm broken. I don't know what that means. Oh, with the Taylor Swift thing. See, Clen Butterball. What will come first? Shops like Walmart accepting Bitcoin or government banning it? If crypto becomes huge and everyone buys it, shops start directly accepting it.
Yes.
And he'd like Bitcoin if he could actually spend it somewhere.
Well, here's the deal. I was explaining earlier that PayPal is adopting cryptocurrency. So ideally, what would happen is that PayPal becomes sort of an exchange and then automatically withdraws Bitcoin and exchanges it for dollars as you use it. So if you have a PayPal card or you're sending PayPal to somebody, you know how it's like if you're sending PayPal to somebody on the computer, it asks you where you want the money to come from. Well, instead of saying take it out of my bank account or take it out of my debit card, you could just say take it out of my Bitcoin wallet, and then it would convert it at the current price, and then you could use it instantaneously. And the people you're sending money to would never even know because they're receiving dollars. So ideally, I think that's how crypto adoption will be. And then people on the other side could have the option to just receive Bitcoin, which I would if I was dealing with somebody else with a dollar, or if someone was sending me dollars and PayPal allowed me to accept it in Bitcoin instead of accepting it in dollars, I would totally do that, like every time.
I'm just waiting for Dogecoin to come back.
Dogecoin is a joke. It was always meant to be a joke.
Dogecoin.
You know it was meant to be a joke, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Hence the wow dog on it.
Yeah.
The Shiba Inu.
The Doge. He's a Doji.
Yeah.
Doji. Woo-hoo. I feel like I'm cheating using a marker.
Were you disappointed in me last week when I used a Sharpie?
I inked an actual published cover with a Sharpie once.
Did you?
Gravestone.
Yep.
Clem, you ever read any comics, or you just you're just here?
Or are you just a Bitcoin dude?
Oh, he's not even a Bitcoin dude. I wonder if the Bitcoin is
much wow, many amazing. Yeah, that's right, Kung Fu Kitty. Wow.
What's much? Was ist much wows?
Oh yeah, we're finally releasing the COVID restrictions here. It sounds like my family's business is going to be able to open Friday.
Oh, nice.
My goodness. Yeah. We own a small business here in town, and we've been shut down for the whole COVID thing. And we were about at our wits' end. So
I can imagine. Wait, is that just your local peeps, or is that the governor?
Well, the governor has a winery, Plump Jack. It's in the wine country area. His stayed open, but he made sure everything else closed down.
Crony capitalism.
Plump Jack.
Wait, who kept pushing the line with the Jewish jokes?
Owen Benjamin, they're talking about still.
Oh.
Guess he was a writer for Crowder.
Wait, but isn't Benjamin is a Jewish last name?
Hmm.
Well, it can be. The tribe of Benjamin.
Benjamin Stein.
I mean,
Start
I
off.
met a girl whose last name was Naphtali, and she didn't even know that was a Jewish name. Like, it's one of the 12 tribes of Israel. She's like, it is?
Owen Benjamin is not Jewish, says Fuzzy Creature.
I bet you he is, and he doesn't even know it.
Mm. The jokes were like Nurkish on the Discord bed.
Oh, really? Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of that stuff.
No.
These guys make a stand. Oh, First Amendment, this should mean anything goes. Well, if all you're using it for is to come up with, some grade school level of humor, I really don't care about your First Amendment anything. Use it for something good, or you're not really helping your cause.
What's the cause what's the cause at all?
Just edgy jokes, like, come on.
It's not a cause.
That's what it becomes. They think it's about the First Amendment, and then if all you're using it for is an Anne Frank joke, well, shame on you.
Wasn't even a funny Anne Frank joke.
Yeah. Oh, we're First Amendment absolutists. Oh. Congrats. Jeez, I'm sounding like my parents back in the 90s or something. I want to abolish rap music and Cardi B, and yeah. Now I'm talking about edgy jokes. I've become my parents.
You're getting long in the tooth, man.
I'm getting old.
Meanwhile, I'll be 49 in 2 days.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Wait, no, that's what? Oh, shoot, that's right.
You kids get off my lawn. Jalapeno. Yeah, pretty much.
Woo-hoo.
I just don't want people to like things that I don't like.
Well, you gotta have some responsibility. With great freedom of speech comes great responsibility.
If the First Amendment is so great to you, use it for great things, not stupid things. My challenge to the
Dumbheads. The las douchebagas. Douchebagas.
Watashimo ninai.
Think about that.
We can't stop you from becoming your parents. Okay.
I am not becoming a tiny Japanese woman. I think that's all I'm going to do. What do you think? Huh?
A lot of blue.
Yeah, but this part.
Looks good.
Let me turn that part off so it doesn't do that weird thing.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? That's where that comes from.
That was one of those subconscious things that snuck in there, huh?
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be being all like, la-dee-da, you can't touch me. Snobby with that. Come on, focus. Gus. There you go. Boy got swag. Yeah. See, I end up inking different when I'm using a marker, so it's kind of weird. It's like brush, marker, quill. I always end up inking differently with each different tool.
Less rendering, maybe?
No, it just seems like the style just changes.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Guess you have to do the rest of the book that way.
No, I know do that. All right, well, hey, thanks everybody for hanging out. Mecca, you giant pink blob.
Yep.
Thanks for chilling with me.
Of course.
Who was on earlier? Scott
McCullough with the Door Kickers.
with Door Kickers. Scott's got a great new book coming out tomorrow. Sidekick Island. Everyone do go check it out. If it is your flavor, do yourself a favor and support it. Grab yourself some MAGA 7 at maga7.com and get yourself some Bitcoin. Link is in the description. You buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, you get $10 for free. $10 worth of Bitcoin if you use that link. Full disclosure, I also get $10 worth of Bitcoin. So there you go. There it is. God bless you guys. We'll see you on the flip side.
For Drawn and Quartered tomorrow.
Drawn and Quartered next
Nexus.
tomorrow night. 7 o'clock Pacific.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.